So, so
Hello and welcome back to Risen Esports, where we are currently covering Premade Dominate Week 3. I am your color caster for this afternoon, Axeman87, and joining me on the desk is Rhino. Rhino, we got a bit of a matchup here going on. What do you got for me?
I've been looking at their teams. So we just got the draft started up. Meta's banned Silas and Leona. I don't know exactly what is going on with the bans of the winning formula, but
yeah, doesn't seem to be a lot going on over there on the band side. We might find out what those bans are later, or no. It looks like they lose 2 bans as a little penalty there for keeping us. So that'll be their punishment going forward. Not sure if they lost any games forfeited, but we will find that out for you here in just a little bit. But just the 2 bans for right now. Moving on with the draft. Back over to Meta for the first pick here. It's just the Thresh band away from TWF so far.
I'm trying to see exactly what their support plays on the side of Meta outside of the Thresh, because obviously that has to be a pretty important ban. I know it's a really good, strong pick. It goes with a lot of ADCs. It's really flexible, especially with the Aphelios.
Oh yeah, I would agree as well. Thresh, if you got one ban in that first ban rotation like TWF did, yeah, I'm banning away Thresh. Thresh is a super strong champion, and once again, you only get the one. They insta-lock Teemo, man. Oh man. All right.
Is that an accidental lock, or is that are we getting a Teemo pick this game?
I have no idea. Looking like Teemo's going to be Tom Kench. Our pro drafter is bad, says 4,000 IQ about his teammate there. So some things going understandably wrong so far for TWF over in their camp, but they did also lock in Tom Kench alongside the Teemo. We're told now that so Tom Kench is Ashe.
Okay, so we got Tom Kench and Ashe on the side of TWF. Meta's locked in the Shen, the Graves, and the Ziggs. I'm assuming that Ziggs is going to be bought. It's been a really powerful pick lately. Doesn't have a lot of hypercarry potential, but the ability to poke out before a team fight and just get the big Rs can sway a fight a lot.
I like you point that out because Ziggs is getting flexed down bot. We've seen that throughout the last several patches after the changes to Ziggs and different buffs to those mage items, but also just the rest of the team very flexible as well there too, right? Shen probably mostly locked top side, but you know, not 100% locked up there, and then Graves as well.
Graves, I've been seeing a lot of Graves mid for I've seen teams been doing it. It seems like it has a lot of power. The early trading power is really strong, and then he still scales really well into the late game with his grit and the armor that he gets. It makes him really hard to kill.
Certainly does there, Rhino. And you're looking at a team comp they're drafting into that at the time had drafted Tom Kench and Ashe. That's a lot of AD, and you're making a lot of use out of that grit, right? And TWF responds once again with the Xin Zhao. They need to get some magic damage going for this side if they want to really have a shot at damaging this Graves at any point. They haven't locked their mid laner yet, so hopefully we'll get some AP out of them. Otherwise, this Graves is going to be running wild on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, he's going to cause some problems in this. If they keep continuing with the 80 as well, the Shen's going to be able to stack armor, and he's also just going to be unkillable in those team fights. It's just going to be really hard to get through the front line of Meta.
For sure. I mean, you're talking about Ziggs stacking up the Seeker's arm guard there too. Lots of potential for Meta to just stack up armor for their team comp. The last of the bans are coming through now with that Rise ban coming out. All sorts of mid lane bans from both of these teams. It should be the first pick on the red side second rotation. This has got to be their mid laner, right?
Yeah, I think it does have to be. I'm looking at the mid laner right now. It looks like he does, out of what isn't banned yet, he plays a lot of Plays a lot of Silas and Vladimir. Looks like his two most played, but I don't know if we'll see either of those. So they choose to go with the Nautilus support. So they have to get that AP mid laner, or they're going to have a lot of trouble getting through the front line of meta if they don't get some damage in the mid.
Absolutely there. It's been a chaotic pro draft so far, folks, but we're almost finished with it now. J4 locked in, presumably the jungler for meta. Looking for one more pick from them. It's the Trundle support. And I am just malding now, Rhino. Last pick coming through from TWF. It's got to be the mid laner, right?
It has to be. I mean, I'm looking at their team comp. It doesn't really look like they could flex anyone anywhere else. Maybe the Tom Kench could go mid. I've seen that once or twice, but it doesn't have a lot of power to it. And, I mean, most of its power lies in the top and being able to kite people down through the lane, but looks like the Azir is going to come through there. That does give them some good damage, and it looks like as long as they can get that Azir, he can get some damage in, but it's still going to be a little rough because his early game does not have too much power to it.
We do love a pro draft where we really don't know where any of the champions are going. We'll have to find out where they land in the actual draft here in the client. We'll get that up here for you in just a little bit while the teams talk some final things over. It looks like, just going through the client chat. Is Trundle mid, Trundle support? Not really sure about that one either, Rhino.
It looks like GWF looks like it's going to be a pretty standard comp. We got the Ashe Tom Kench bot lane, and then we got the Zinzo jungle. Oh, wait, no, Ashe Nautilus bot lane.
Right. Who knows, right? I don't know.
And then the Azir mid. The meta side is a completely different story. I don't know who's going to be where on that side. I'm assuming the Ziggs will be bot, but the rest of the team comp is up for grabs.
Yeah, their name almost seems sarcastic, right? This is a team called Meta, and they've drafted this team comp, but I'm still holding out for the Shen not going top. I think that's the play here. I don't know why, but it seems like the type of thing this team would do after drafting this team comp. We'll see where they land here in just a second after we get through. The first of the bans should be coming up on your screen shortly here. We might actually just look at this draft here and we'll inform you verbally where everything ends up landing, but they're working through the bans right now. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about. The TK, presumably top, very strong pick right now, right? Pretty much in any of the champions the meta have drafted, this Tom Kench is going to be pretty strong. So we'll definitely be looking at the top side for some fireworks from TWF.
Yeah, Tom Kench is he has the ability to sit back and in a team fight, he's a really big front line and he can peel a lot, but the thing is in the top lane, he still has a lot of solo kill pressure. With his ult, he can pick people up and just take them back. And it makes ganks really hard to get out of because you're just getting pulled back towards the enemy tower and slowed by his tongue lash. One thing I'm excited to see this game though is the Jarvan. I know that this patch he got some pretty decent buffs to his kit. I haven't seen him played much yet, but I've heard that has a lot more power to him than he used to.
Yeah, I think it's a really funny just fact about Meta's comp that they drafted is that they have 3/5 of their team are just S tier junglers, like for no reason. I don't really know why, but maybe Trundle in the A tier or something like that. But point fans, they drafted just all junglers, and I have no idea where they're going. I mean, we can guess until the cows come home. But J4 has been played support as often as Trundle has, maybe not in the last patch or so, but and then Shen as well. So we'll see where those end up. Looks like Drip Drop is locking in Shen top lane. No real reason to try and go for a deception and swap that last minute in client.
Yeah.
So we're going to assume that's Shen top.
Yeah, so it's looking like the Shen versus Kench top. The Kench should have the push and have most of the prio in the top lane over the Shen. Neither of them have too much wave clear, so it should be a pretty neutral wave state, but if Kench does need the shove, I think he can get that over the Shen.
Yeah, I would think so there, and I'm trying to think how this mid matchup is going to go. We do see the Graves locked in for the mid lane there.
So we do have the Jarvan's going to be in the Jarvan versus Zinzao in the jungle, and the Graves versus Azir in the mid lane. Honestly, I feel like Azir should just be able to sit back and farm. I feel like Graves doesn't really have a good way to get onto the Azir in this matchup, and even if he does blow his flash or something, as long as it's post 6, Azir, if he really needs to, can just ult the Graves away if he's in fear of dying, and Graves has no way to reclose that gap. Yeah,
it does seem like an Azir favorite matchup, which makes sense, Azir having the last pick and all. Yeah, I don't think they would pick a losing matchup there for their mid
Yeah.
laner on red side, but I'm pretty sure as well as your soldiers do magic damage when they auto. I might be wrong about that, but if so, that's going to be pretty damning for this Graves and that grid passive, right? Not
Yeah.
great there for him. You do have the opportunity to itemize into like a Bramble Vest or something like that, which is going to hurt his ear. But I mean that seems kind of out of the way for Graves just to hurt his lane opponent. So this might be
Yeah.
more of a roaming Graves style.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I was thinking. I think he's gonna have to. I think he'll be able to shove in really well, and he can just look for those roams and look for the skirmishes. I don't know how this. I'm looking at the 2v2. Jarvan and Graves should be able to beat the Azir and Zinzao in the early game. Once the Azir gets an item or two on him, that might change a little bit. But I think even though Zinzao has the early skirmishing over Jarvan, the Graves just has so much better over Azir.
Certainly seems that way. Yeah. Trying to see. Attacks instead, dealing. Yeah, it's magic damage, so those Azir soldiers are going to be hurting Graves pretty badly. But we are getting into the spectator delay here in just a little bit. We'll talk about the teams a little bit more in the throw to a break here, but I really like this bot side, right? Ashe Nautilus, very, very strong. We've been seeing Ashe Braum kind of rise to the forefront a little bit more as Braum has some pretty neat ways of taking advantage of the Abyssal Mask and his own passive with Ashe, but Ashe Nautilus has tons of CC, right? And we might actually see the Nautilus rush the Abyssal Mask as well there, as he has a lot of ways to proc it. But into Ziggs Trundle, that's a crazy lane, Rhino.
Yeah, Ziggs Trundle, I honestly have no clue how that's going to play out. I mean, Trundle can peel for the Ziggs and just get him to level 6. Once the Ziggs does have his first item, though, the damage he can put down onto the squishy members of TWF pretty strong, especially onto that Ashe if the Nautilus isn't able to peel for him. And
Yeah,
Ashe
and
doesn't have any mobility for that Trundle pillar if he gets a good one.
For sure, yeah, and that's how really this bot lane is going to operate, right? Is as a kill lane. That pillar from Trundle can be so damning in combination with the ability Ziggs has at their disposal. You have that satchel bomb, which can be so deadly. 280 carries, 2 marksmen, but it's difficult to get the range on that. Pillar from Trundle has the range. The range on it is massive, and especially if you're maxing in the support position, you can get that base slow up to like 40-45% really quickly. So. But we will find out how these two bot lanes go head-to-head here in just a little bit. But before that, we're going to cut to a little bit of a break here in the spectator delay. Don't touch that dial. Risen Esports will be right back with more Premade Dominate. And we're back with more Premade Dominate action here for you in the same manner you come to expect from Risen Esports in the Risen Esports channel. Once again, I'm Axman87. I'll be doing play-by-play here for you with Rhino, my color caster, for the afternoon. Rhino, what are we seeing here?
It looks like TWF is looking for a level 1 play here. They got the Nautilus for the hook and the Tomkins with the tongue lash slow. Looks like they are going to go around.
Ooh. Walk over a little bit of vision there. Looks like Meta is not having it, though. They come to meet them. It's all going to start now. 4000 walks into the bush. He's laid low almost instantly. First blood over to Sanjay. Oh, man, another kill goes down there as Tom Kench falls. They trade 1 for 1, but it's Lee Sinners who's on the run. Tinoy trying to find them, flashes the wall, and he's out. Maybe.
Ooh.
Dumpy Truck still chasing with the flash. Not going to find him.
Looks like Meta was just set up really well for that. They end up walking out with 2 kills. The kills went on to both the Ziggs and the Trundle, so that bot lane that was already a kill lane is just going to be even that much scarier for the Ashe Nautilus to deal with.
Yeah, you're right there. I think I was confused because red side was coming from blue side, and I called it 1 for 1 at one point, but no, it was 2 for 0 for blue side here. And both those kills, like you said, going down the bot lane, that's pretty rough.
Looks like Trundle will be missing the exhaust as well as Grace Flash and Shen Flash for the side of Meta, and Xin will be flashed as well on red side. Looks like Trundle exhaust, it's such a short cooldown, it honestly shouldn't be too big of a deal because like I said before, that Ziggs needs some items before he can get too much damage down. So by the time he has the damage to be getting these kills, that exhaust should be back up, and that can be brutal on Nautilus or Ashe.
Oh, it's a 2v1 topside as Lee Sanders is getting invaded at his own buff. He goes down, bringing our score to 3-0 here for Meta. Meta just coming correct with the cheese so far here. Oh man, Rhino, it's rough.
This is looking really rough for TWF already. Meta's off to a really strong start. Oh, in the bot lane looks like we might have some action.
Ooh, goes down to the Ignite there from 4000 IQ. They're going for more. Achilles Apollo is able to just narrowly make it out. He's gonna re-engage, thinking that he can 1v2, but maybe a little optimistic there. He flashes the wall. Sanjay back in with the teleport. Lee Sinners is gonna disconnect. He walks away from the action there. Drip drop, topside. Captain Goofy, can he make it happen? It's 2v1, and they're going to take the pause there as Lee Sinners did DC on that previous play.
That was really unfortunate DC timing. That was going to look to be to get their first kill there.
Yeah, and it did.
Oh, second kill, sorry.
Yeah, no, it looked like they were going to get a second kill on Sanjay there, but the re-engage there is going to mean the death of Goofy. Unfortunate. Just a little bit too far forward, I would think there.
Yeah. So it looks like everybody is back. We are going again. Bot side, the Ziggs used his TP to come back to lane.
Oh, and I've actually frozen.
I have as well.
Okay, so client's frozen now. Not sure when that is going to...
Oh.
Okay, I'm back now. Is everybody on the same page? Are we on the same page here, production? I'm at 325, 26.
I am as well.
All right, so hopefully we got production there, right there with you folks, and we'll move on. Not sure what that pause was, but you see Lee Sinners creeping up this mid-river. Oh boy.
I think we might have a skirmish in the bot river.
Yeah, things not looking too good as Lee Sinners. He's trying to get away, but it's 4v1 Rhino. There's just no way for him to get out of this one. He's going to go down. He's not even going to get the scuttle.
Lee Sinners is still level 2. Yeah, he's having a rough time. He almost got that kill on the bot lane with that DC, causing some problems.
For sure. You think he's lagging?
That could be a possibility. It's hard to tell.
Definitely pretty hard to tell from our point of view. Dumpy Truck with blue buff, by the way. Not sure how that happened.
I think he got it off of Lee Sinners on that skirmish there. Did he get the kill? Yes, he did.
Yeah, I think
he picked it up there. And Azir's actually already out of mana, so it looks like Dumpy Truck is going to have the shove here.
The sum of all fears here for Ambiance in the mid lane. Enemy Graves this blue buff, and I don't have any mana. It's not a good position for him to be in, but still, we think this matchup is Azir favorite. Might need a couple more levels for that to really start popping off, because Dumpy Truck, for the time being, is dominating this lane.
And it's gonna suck, even though it may be a good matchup. That Graves has already have 20 CS and 2 kills and 2 assists, so that's a lot of gold that's gonna be added for Dumpy Truck. So it might be really hard to get back. It looks like he might have Lee Sanders looking for a gank topside here.
Yep. Nope, gonna back off there for the time being, but jeez, Achilles just walks right up, man. No fear. That pillar is so strong for him there. Really allows him to get the target access directly onto Ash. There's nothing it can do about it. 4,000 hooks minions. Perky Parrot eats exhaust. Tinoy's in with the flag and drag. Sanjay gonna be able to get that kill down onto Perky the Parrot. Now it's 4,000 IQ. He's on the run. He's looking for Ziggs. He's not gonna find him. Nautilus goes down. The double kill now for the Ziggs. 3-1 and 2 on that champion.
It's only 5 minutes in, and we already have upwards of a 4K gold lead for the side of Meta. It's looking really rough for TWF. Meta's open with the dominating lead. They got the Ziggs to 3-1-2, the Graves to 2-0-2, and the Shen's also leading over the Kench, which is typically known for having his early laning dominance.
Yeah, we are reaching new heights of roughness now. We have surpassed the Sandpaper. Drip drop in onto Goofy. Has Dumpy Truck to back him up from the mid lane. To Abyssal Voyage forward. Might get out with the shield. Nope, the ult comes out there from the Graves. And able to collect that one.
Graves is still just sitting on a door and playing in a health spot. He hasn't put back in bot yet with his 5 KP.
And I mean, he hasn't even chugged his pot, right? That means basically, apart from just base regen, nothing has damaged this guy. Right? That's what that means. He has the Doran's Blade, the lifesteal from it, so getting some more healing from there. But other than that, he's just been full health bar all game long, which is such a disappointing development there for FTW.
We got a skirmish
there
going
we go.
on.
Yeah, Tinoy maybe with the poorly advised engage. Lee Sinner's going to pick up a kill, his first. Oh, there's the Shurima shuffle pushing Sanjay back out of turret range. They're not going to get that kill, though. This is well played there by Ambiance, but just not quite enough damage dropped onto the Ziggs.
Well, Ambiance will lose his TP. It doesn't look like he's going to lose any waves mid, but it looks like TF can at least look to pick up the drag. So give them some sort of hope. Maybe they can play for the soul later on.
Oh, Flash comes out 4,000 IQ. Perky the Parrot backing off, taking a bit of damage there. It's a rough trade for him, but they'll continue on. Goofy sweeping a ward. Some action mid lane there, but looks like Lee Sinners is just going to take off up top side.
Doesn't look like they'll be able to pick the drag up. We got the flag and guard from Jarvan on bot.
Yeah, doesn't quite connect with Perky as Perky flashes away. You only get one flash every 5 minutes, though, so pretty dangerous position for him to be in. You see Dumpy Truck pathing up through the tri-bush. That's going to send Perky and IQ just heading for the hills.
That's going to be... They're going to get at least two or three plates off this bot tower. Looks like they're just killing that wave. And with this Ziggs, his power to take turrets early, you can just keep doing plays like that or get a Herald down, and then Ziggs just puts down his satchel, and as long as that tower is below 25% health, it will get rid of the tower.
And I was going to point that out. Blue Meta finds themselves in an interesting position. They're so far ahead here this early in the game that they're going for these bot side dragons here, but normally this team comp with the Ziggs like this and with different bruisers with that Shen up topside is going to look to play for Rift Herald so they can do just what you're talking about and try to get those structures down early. However, this team is just so far ahead that they're controlling this whole map and taking the dragon, and Lee Sinners is just barely able to trade back that Rift Herald. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to take these structures without the Rift Heralds.
Yeah, especially with Dumpy Truck taking these drums like this, I think it should be pretty doable. It looks like he's going to be trying to make a play topside here again and make it a 3v2.
Looking that way, the dive comes through. Tinoy, flag and drag, but Lee Sinners is devoured by Goofy. Brought back within relative safety. Fight breaks up bot side, 4,000 IQ, caught out by the pillar. That's a nice angle there from Achilles Apollo. That's exactly how you want to be playing Trundle support.
Yeah, those pillars can be brutal, especially in situations like that where he's coming back from getting the vision. You can just do that, and he has to walk all the way around the entire pillar.
Oof, Ambiance perhaps caught out, but he's going to be able to shuffle away there with the soldiers. Aim a little bit of safety there, but you can already see the damage in that short amount of time coming out of Dumpy Truck. That's quite a bit, right? He's got a 40 CS lead, the 3 kills, the 2 assists, and he's taking that reset now, Rhino. It's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, it's already 2,400 gold lead just in the mid lane alone.
Yeah, so we had expressed our doubts in this team comp before the game, but I think I'd like to retract some of those statements maybe I had made in error. Seems like Meta knows what they're doing.
Oh, it looks like we will have another DC here from these centers. We probably will get the pause here, but it looks like we actually have a dive.
Oh, that was a nice arena shuffle there. Pushes 3 members back up under turret. If that was a team fight, that would have been wild, but
yeah.
It was 1v3, so it's not going to affect much as it goes there.
Looks like he has reconnected. Pause is still going. Yeah, no, that 0 was really good, but it's still not enough to save him through the 3-man dive.
For sure, right? I mean, they were all planning on taking turret shots there, so it's not too effective. Only buys them a couple more seconds there before Dumpy Truck is able, or not Dumpy Truck, excuse me. I believe that might have been Drip Drop there that got that kill, but not 100% on that one. Just froze again here, Rhino. Not sure if that's...
Yeah. No, that's on my side too. I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know if that's them pausing, if that's just us.
Hey, as long as we're all pausing at the same time together for the same amount of time, that works for me. Drip Drop back in there. The Abyssal... is it Abyssal Voyage? I believe it is. Okay, all right. As long as production is on the level with us here. And here we go. Hook lands, connects with Sanjay. Sanjay taken low very quickly, but he finds the satchel charge and is able to escape. That's a lot of damage coming out of Perky the Parrot. Goofy top side, just tangling with Drip Drop for a little bit here. Drip Drop actually might be in trouble as he's under turret. Oh, aggro, no, he gets the kill with the empowered autos.
It looks like Goofy might not have quite had the barrier from the Tom Kench.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't have it up. Maybe just didn't activate it in time. Regardless, Lee Center's going to find the kill under Drip Drop with that final flash there. Gets him a little bit of recourse, but it's a lot of damage coming out of Drip Drop, right? Those empowered autos from Shen are just so painful and can really cut right through you. Looking like Goofy picking up some tank stats, though, should be all right moving forward.
Looks like he might have thought that he could take another auto, but I think the Grasp empowered auto actually made it so that last auto was able to kill.
Unfortunate series of events for sure. Tinoi in on the Lee Centers is overextended. Gonna live for a while here, but I'm not optimistic. Yeah, Drip Drop gonna get the kill there on the Xin Zhao.
And that will be the Herald down. It looks like he just wanted to get it down before the plates dropped. Kind of just took a little bit of an extreme case and sat under the tower and greeted for more plates and trying to get the tower.
Well, if he had gotten that tower, it would have been pretty worth it. Sanjay down bot side, caught in a rare 3v1 for this blue side. Sanjay going down, not trading anything back either. Pretty good play there.
That will be a 500 gold shutdown to the Ashe. That'll give her some good damage to be able to lay down into the side of meta. They're going to need her and the Azir are the two best ways for TRF to get back into this game. Ashe the utility with both her slows and her R can just change the way a team fight goes if she gets a good pick.
All true for sure, Rhino, and they have that magical footwear under their belts now too, so even more utility there for the Ashe. See if they can make anything happen as they complete the Imperial Shield Bow. So, a bit of a power spike there for the champion.
Now it looks like Meta is going to be picking up the second drag. That'll put them up to 2, and it's an Ocean and an Infernal, which are both very, very powerful. So it looks like we will either be getting a Cloud or a Mountain Troll.
I'm excited for either. It looks like Mountain is going to be the answer there. 3 top for TWF. Looking for a kill there into Drip Drop. He's just going to back off. He'll be pretty safe. Meanwhile, Sanjay about to show us what Ziggs does to turrets. Yeah, he does that.
That ability can be so powerful, especially if they keep rotating in lanes. I wouldn't be surprised to see bot and top tier lane swaps that the Ziggs Jungle can look to take out the top tower as well, because it's already down to half health, and with the Ziggs and powered auto, you can delete those turrets really fast.
Very true there. Hook from 4,000 IQ going to land on Dumpy Truck. Doesn't really matter though. Dumpy Truck is practically immortal at this stage of the game. He's level 11. It's 4 levels over both of the bot laners of Perky Parrot and 4,000 IQ. He's just too big to fail at this point. Drip Drop also at level 11 up there. They're going to take this mid inhib turret and look for the inhib directly after. I don't see this push stopping. Rhino, this might be a push to end.
And it looks like that they will just keep going through those turrets with that Ziggs and the Rage. They're able to delete these structures. And I don't know if we decided if GWF had the game FF, but this could be match set for them.
Definitely could be, and I don't think we got confirmation on that either, but we'll see if we can here in just a little bit. You're right, this could be the only game in the series, this best of 3, which would be something. You know, we don't see too many one game best of 3s, but looking up top side now, looking for that Rift Herald to break open this game in its finality. Or maybe not. We're just looking back off.
This game just got off to a really bad start for TDF. They were looking for the level 1 play with the Tom Kenshin, the Nautilus, typically that's not too bad of an idea, but they just walked straight into the 5-man of meta because they had that ward in the bot lane tri-bush, so they saw it coming.
They sure did, and knowledge is power. Yeah, you're right, 4,000 IQ got blown up. We'll say that. Blown up. Sanjay picked up that early kill, and then Achilles Apollo getting the kill on that level 1 play on the Captain Goofy really set them up for success in all areas of the map too, right? Drip Drop really benefited off of that play. Yeah, it looks like they're going to make the play onto the Rift Herald here before it goes down. They're playing a kind of a 1-3-1 style, trying to get the last little bit of scaling out of Drip Drop and Dumpy Truck, but after that, I'm expecting them to just run it down mid and end this game.
Yeah, they have the power too. They're currently up by 6.5k. They should just be able to, with that Herald, just walk it down mid, and once it gets the charge, the Ziggs can drop the satchel on it immediately, and it will take down those Nexus turrets.
Sounds like a good time to me. Dumpy Truck in the 2v1, or the 1v2, I guess, excuse me. Stunned up. Could be the shutdown here for him. Yeah, 1v4, he's going to go down to Perky.
That will be another big shutdown on a Perky, but it might be too little too late.
Certainly could be there, and yeah, Perky, so much of the potential of this champion is that pick potential, right? And they get that stun down, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Maybe getting their team back in the game here, but it's going to have to come from Goofy now as he finds himself 1v3 under turret. Oh, it's not looking good for Goofy. He's eating all kinds of damage, but just able to walk right out of there with the Infamous Chains.
Yeah, it looks like that driving missed the flag and drag just because the Tom Kenshin's flash is barely able to save him from that CC lockup.
Could be another charge here from the Rift Herald. Ooh, it is going to go through. That next dragon up in a minute might be the resets here for TeamMETA. The resetting on a ward, man. You got to have... you know you're ahead when you're just resetting on a control ward. You don't need the gold to take it. You don't care if they can see you. Yikes.
And it looks like, yeah, they're going to be setting up for that dragon. This will get them onto Soul Point. And honestly, I don't know if we're even going to see this game get onto Soul Point. I hope we do. Hope we can see some competitive fights, but Meta right now is just dominating this game.
I'm with you, Rhino. Meta is dominating League of Legends. It's kind of awful, to be honest. You got to play Meta. Oh, you meant the team. Yeah. TeamMETA is also dominating the game currently. Yeah, that is also true. We'll see if they get this dragon here. Another 15 seconds. It's looking like they're posturing for it anyway. It's yeah, just sweeping out that vision. We'll play on ambiance now. Oh, that was fancy. These are Plat players, by the way.
Was this Plat or are they Diamond? I can't remember.
It should be Plat. Oh, the Diamond?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
pretty fancy
all
other way.
Perky and 400 IQ are Diamond. Perky and 400 IQ are sitting up Plat. I believe this is the Diamond 1 cap league. But
Gotcha. Okay, so a whole lot of Diamond players here, but Still some pretty fancy footwork there from Ambiance. Like to see that on the Azir. It's a shame we couldn't see him really shine at all this game. Didn't seem like Ambiance really had a shot. Um, Dumpy Truck was so far ahead so early in this game.
Yeah, I believe he got
trying to
that
make a
first
play.
blood off the invade and then immediately run back for the kill as well.
Yeah. Sounds right to me. Rip drop. Still looking to make the fight happen here, but ooh, Ambiance in onto Sanjay. Could find themselves a kill with Perky with the damage. Goofy still fighting up topside. 4,000 IQ gonna go down with the Nautilus following him directly after. Ambiance caught out now. Goes golden, but only temporarily as he eventually meets his doom to Tinoy, the J4, the jungler here for TeamMETA. They're gonna look to continue their push, and with no one to stop them, Rhino, this might be the end of the game.
Yeah, it looks like even though they do have the Ziggs down, so they don't quite have the turret taking potential, he can TP in here in 5 seconds, and they have just 2 people on top side, 2 people on bot side. They are going to probably get the triple inhib here if they would like to. Looks like they actually might be scared off bot lane from Perky. Perky has got a couple shutdowns, so he is putting out some good damage. He just finishes the Wit's End.
He really is. And Wit's End doing a lot for him in that 1v1 against Sanjay. We saw last play, he was able to take Sanjay down pretty handily. But, you know, everybody else on this team is dealing physical damage. You had the Graves, the J4, the Trundle. It's all a lot of physical stuff. So it should just be the inherent passive there from Wit's End that's really helping him out the most. Honestly, Wit's End is just a good item regardless, Rhino. So you could definitely see why he built that. Still no tier 2 boots for the Ashe.
Yeah, she doesn't on the magical footwear. She probably looks like she might be resetting for those right now. She has enough gold for it. I'm interested to see the Darwin is going lethality. Most people choose to opt for the Gorgon care, but he is going for the power style, which just gives him so much ability to shred through that Ashe and Azir, but it might be a little bit harder for him to take down the Zen Tower with Kench.
Certainly could be there. Prowler Squad, yeah, like you said, it's an interesting itemization. Looking like Baron going down here for Meta. Ooh, a little bit of a steal attempt there from Lee Sinners. Interesting as well is that Achilles Apollo was the one that got that Baron and not Tinoy, so missed the smite. But
Yeah.
luckily for Meta, Achilles Apollo was there with the chomp, able to get that objective for them. Now with Baron, this has got to be it, right, Rhino? I mean, we've been saying it for the past 10 minutes, but this has got to be the end now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we got the 3 people looking mid. We have the Jarvan taking the top inhib, and Shen's pushing bot. There's just not much that TWF can do to defend this. The one through, well, now it looks like they're just trying to split up TWF and take down the Azir turret in the mid lane. And Shen's taking that bot inhib. It looks like they're just gonna try to get the triple inhib, and then once they have those double supers coming in, there's nothing TWF can do about it.
But it's TWF trying to make a play around topside to get Sanjay down. Maybe, yeah, there he goes. Drip Drop has arrived with the Shen ultimate, able to kill Lee Sinners. Now it's Drip Drop who's in trouble himself. 3v1. Yikes, he is putting up quite the fight here, Rhino, but eventually he's going to go down. Fortunately for him, though, the rest of Meta is ending the game, hitting the Nexus. It's Achilles Apollo and Dumpy Truck, but they're 5v2. Can they do it? Achilles laid low. Lee Sinners chasing them down. Meanwhile, Dumpy Truck is getting several kills on the back end. You want to turn around, fellas. There's something happening behind you. Lee Sinners taking so much damage from this Graves, but Dumpy Truck able to do it, the quadra kill. Looking for the Penta now as Goofy is right there, but the minions are going to take the Nexus. Oh, man, what a game. That was something else, Rhino.
That Graves mid was just running over everybody. He almost got the penta there, but his own minions ended the game before he could get it.
Yeah, unfortunate. They ran out of game time there, and the Baron empowered minions were just a little bit too strong there for him. And yeah, they chased down the support, got Achilles Apollo, turned around. And there's Dumpy Truck with like 3 shotguns in his hand. He's just kind of smiling to himself. He kills them 1v2, but that was a fantastic game. And Meta drafting a little bit against the meta, we'll go ahead and say, but they're able to pull it out regardless in convincing fashion.
Yeah, and that Graves just had that LDR at the end, so even the front line of TWF, the Kench, the Zin, the Nautilus, he was able to just shred through them. And that Nautilus, actually, Interested to see he did end up opting for the chains as his first item outside of his Moby boots.
Interesting. Yeah. It's an interesting itemization. I know we talked about him maybe going Abyssal Mass there before the game had started, and that might have been an option for him. But Anathema's Chains, it's a fantastic item, especially when you're expecting a lot of damage from one source in the enemy team, and that's certainly something 4,000 IQ could expect from Dumpy Truck. Right? You drop that on Sanjay and Lane, and as soon as you break out a lane, you drop it on the Graves and end up reducing a lot of damage. So we like to see that. I like to see the fun itemization. But it just wasn't enough there for the Nautilus. We're going to cut to a little bit of a break as we decide what to do with the rest of this broadcast. We don't really like getting everybody together just to stream one game, but that might be what ends up happening. But until then, we are going to cut to a break. Don't change the channel yet. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Risen Esports channel, and we are following up with our last stream there with more Premade Dominate Week 3. This time, though, it's the Wichita Wolves versus good players in PK. It's GPPK for the rest of the broadcast. That's a mouthful, but we are into the Pro Draft now, and we'll see what these teams have in store for us. I'm Axman87. I'll be play-by-play casting here for you this afternoon. Joining me on the desk is Rhino, as always on the color casting position. Rhino, what should we expect here from this draft?
So it looks like so far we have the Draven, Trundle, Gwen, Thrashman, pretty standard bands. Little other than the Draven's a little off. From what I have heard, it's GPPK won game 1, so this is going to be a game 2 scenario. GPPK is on the red side. We will see the Viego ban. Viego's had a lot of power the past couple patches, especially in the jungle role. But
for sure. Yeah, and this being a game 2, I'm thinking that Draven ban might be a relic of the previous game here, trying to get that game 1 champion away from GPPK. Maybe that Trundle support taken away there as well, and you mentioned the Viego, but GPPK banning mostly just meta champions away, right? Just the Thresh, the Xin Zhao, the Gwen, trying to take those away from the Wolves here. And that, to me, speaks to a lot of confidence in their drafting. They're not really worried about anything the Wolves have up in store for them. They're just trying to take away some strong champions.
Looks like we will see Caitlyn from the side of the Wichita Wolves. She has some good range, but she does struggle into a lot of matchups. I very questioning it being blind picked. I think there's a lot of stuff that can deal with Caitlyn fairly easily, but she has her good matches that I think she can be used as a counter pick, but blind, I don't see the purpose behind it.
It seems less than ideal to me there, Rhino, but the brief Diana hover before Ashe locked in for GPPK there, presumably in lieu of the loss of Draven. And Ashe we saw there in the last game for FWT, TWF.
I think it was TWF.
Yeah, was a pretty strong pick there for him. And GPPK following it up there with the Diana pick. Should have gone to jungle.
Yeah, Diana has been pretty impressive for a couple patches. I know it did get nerfed this patch. I believe they made her passive go 200% damage to jungle camps to 150. So it slows down her clear a little bit. She can't quite full clear and be at crab anymore, but she still is very powerful, and her clear is still a good speed, just not quite as powerful as it used to be.
Absolutely there, and taking clear speed away from this champion really hurts her in her ability to jungle. That was such a big part of why she was so strong, was just that ability to clear, and that's really been the story of jungle in season 11, is just the best clear is the best jungler. We're only starting now to see that change back to more of a gank heavy play style, but even the best gankers on this patch in season 11 are really good at clearing the jungle too, so it's been a major theme so far this season.
Yeah, I've been seeing the things like the Lee Sin, the Zinza, the Jarvan looks like it might be making a resurgence, and I think that can definitely cause meta changes in the lanes as well, because you start to value those laners that can stay safe more and survive those ganks, because then it makes the jungles a lot more irrelevant and less impactful in the games.
100%, yeah. And impactful junglers can be really oppressive in the meta. It's really easy to affect the entirety of the map in that position, but the draft continues here. The Lee Sin locked in for the Wolves. Swain for GPPK. That second round of ban starts off with a Gnar ban here.
Looks like we'll see an Ornn ban from the side of the Wichita Wolves. Swain, I'm assuming that's going to be a Swain Ashe bot lane. It could be Swain mid, but that Swain Ashe bot lane could be really gross, especially into the Caitlyn, because that Swain hook can catch the Caitlyn from her range, and if they get that, then Swain can pull her in, and then it's really hard for her to get out with the Ashe slow, just perma-slowing her on her way out.
For sure, and there's lots of inherent peel too with the Ashe, with all the CC that comes in her kit, so being able to kite back and away from this Leona and the hard engage there, especially with the Lee Sin combined there on the gank, is going to be a little bit easier for Ashe and Swain than perhaps some other lanes, and that it will be something they have to contend with, especially in their early game, as Swain and Ashe are both really big scaling champions, so it'll be a weak spot for them, that those first couple levels.
Yeah, and it looks like we will be seeing the Syndra and the Malzahar bans, the last two bans from each side. Just getting rid of some of the power from mages mid. The Malzahar is more of a counter to the assassins, especially. He's pretty good against the block, because if the block ever tries to get a W in or anything, he just can click R and she can't ever get out. Looks like we'll be seeing an Ergo pick.
Yeah, locked in there. Let's see what he has to contend with up top side as Wichita Wolves have to pick back-to-back here. Should be both solo laners.
Interested to see the Ergo picks. He struggles a lot with CC, and from the side of the Wolves, we already have Lee Sin and Leona, which the Lee Sin kick can be brutal against an Ergo, and so that Leona can just lock him up. Looks like we might be getting an Aatrox. Yep, there it is, blocked in for the side of the Wichita Wolves. As me personally being an Ergo player, the Ergo versus Aatrox matchup is very, very rough for the Ergo to deal with. The Aatrox can just keep the Ergo locked up with the Q3s, and it's really hard for Ergo to get out of it.
Yeah, you're fairly immobile. You have a fairly short range with your W, so getting up close and personal with the Aatrox, it's just not a lot of fun there. But the Vygar hovered briefly before being locked in. Vygar very strong in the mid lane so far, has seen a massive resurgence, both with the changes to mage items and then also just changes directly to Vygar themselves. We've seen more melee mid laners, which has given Vygar more power there as well with his cage. And all that combined has really allowed Vygar to shine the last couple patches, especially the last patch or so. Lucian going to be the pick here for GPPK.
Looks like, I honestly really like the Vygar pick on the side of the Wichita Wolves. I think against that Diana, the Ergo, just putting up that cage can cause so much control in a team fight and just shut those champions down really hard because they can't go anywhere without getting stunned.
For sure, and really inhibits their mobility there too, helps them into the Lucian and all that good stuff. Really sets up their early game skirmishes there too, and the team fights that follow later in the game, which is going to be pretty important there for the Wichita Wolves, as their team fight maybe leaves a little something to be desired there, the early to mid. But let's see how that unfolds as we get into the actual game. Before all that, though, will be the client draft coming up in just a little. Get that on screen there for you. Or actually, no, I don't think we get it on screen. We just launched the pro draft here, so we'll report on that for you as it unfolds.
And it looks like from the side of GPPK, I think if they can get a good team fight and bait out that Vygar cage beforehand, I think they can dominate a fight with the combination of both the Swain R and the Diana R. And then if they can get like a good Ashe R or something to engage, they do have a lot of team fight potential. And the Ergo, one thing a lot of people forget about his ult is if you get a kill with it, it fears, and that can cause huge team fight potential. If he's in the middle of everybody and gets a big fear, it can split everybody up, cause that CC for a good amount of time.
Yeah, it can be super deadly in those team fights, but looking forward to seeing how this next game unfolds. Didn't get to see GPPK versus the Wichita Wolves there in game 1. It's off screen, but this game is shaping up to be a pretty good one. We got some pretty high octane champions here. Looking forward to this Diana jungle and seeing how the changes have affected.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think we'll definitely see Wichita Wolves probably trying to get a little more early skirmishes. Well, other side of GPK just looks to farm up a little more, so we'll see if Wichita Wolves can force those plays, maybe free up the Leona for some roams into mid, and get those 3 mans, Leona, Lee Sin, because Vygar with the cage can have some good gank set up for that.
For sure, yeah. It should be bot side control of the play for Wichita Wolves and trying to control those dragons. It's going to be easier said than done. You know, Ashe Swain is no slouch in those skirmishes, especially post level 6, and Lucian very strong in the early game there too. They got their work cut out for them, but there's the potential there for them to have control around the bottom side.
It's looking like in the client draft so far, everything's pretty standard, exactly what we expected. Just everything going where we expected. There wasn't too many flex picks this game. The only one possibly was the Swain. Was the Diana can go mid, but there's no other junglers for the side of GPK, so nothing really surprised this year.
Yeah, everything kind of locked in between these two teams as far as just positioning there with the various champions. So we are getting into the spectator delay here in just a little bit. These two teams are looking to have a pretty exciting matchup moving forward, but before we get into that game, we are going to cut to a little bit of a break just so everyone has time to go get a snack or whatever you want to do before this game starts. Be back in about 2 minutes or so and get through this spectator delay. Don't change that channel. Risen Premade Dominate will be right back. Hello and welcome back to Risen Premade Dominate. This is week 3, and this is the Wichita Wolves versus the good players and PK. PK being the top laner there. This is game 2 of their best of 3 series. We didn't catch game 1, but apparently GPPK took that victory over the Wichita Wolves in pretty convincing fashion. And we'll see if the Wolves can make a comeback here in game 2.
Yeah, so it looks like neither team's looking for level 1. Looks like they might both just be setting up for Watcher invades. Looks like we are getting a little stacking from the Wolves here on the top side. Just looks like the Diana Argo might have been looking for something, so they're a little scared. But other than that, looks like there's going to be no level 1 plays. Nothing special. Just a standard start from both sides.
Yeah, the 5 point's kind of dead on this patch. You want to be trying to not necessarily make a play level 1, but at least be trying to do something, especially if you're the jungler around the top side of the map. You want to get a ward, either in that pixel brush or try to get it as deep as you can there. Because there's so much focus around the scuttles and so much focus around trying to get an angle on that top side of the map at the end of your clear. It's good to have a little bit of vision as you walk up there, but Diana, particularly Jackie Chan here, starting up top side, so not going to need that deep vision top.
Then that vision can really help you out a lot, especially because it helps you know if you can find out where the enemy jungler is. You can look where they're going to be on what scuttle and where you have pride and try to figure out what you want to do if you don't want to fight them, if you want to try to fight them.
For sure. There's also just so many early game junglers back in the meta right now that having a ward at a jungle entrance can be super valuable if you're getting invaded, right? Having a little bit of an early warning there can really save you. So having that early vision, normally a pretty good idea, but not this game. So we'll see if that has any effect on the game as we move forward. And we're talking about the clear speed there before we got into this game of Diana, Rhino, and that's already, we're seeing that in spades right now as Lee Sin is up camp on Jackie Chan, looking to make that 2 here as they move over onto blue.
Yeah, he's already onto his blue buff. He chose not to clear his cards, which is arguably the hardest camp in the clear, so it doesn't surprise me. He's finishing up his blue here while the Diana's just now getting over to her blue side of the map.
For sure. Diana having less trouble with the Krugs because of the inherent AoE damage on the passive, but also just the magic damage too, right? Krugs have a lot of armor, not so much magic resistance, so a little bit easier for Diana to clear those. Lee Sin just in general clearing faster though. He clears 5 camps as the scuttle is set to spawn here.
Looks like this Aatrox is doing exactly what I expected. He's getting this Urgo poked out pretty hard just on the early levels. Urgo's already sitting at half health. Looks like he hasn't used any of his 3 corruption pots yet. Neither has the Aatrox, but
major trades bonside have resulted in the Wichita Wolves. Those health bars not looking too good there, Rhino. See if anything comes of that. GPPK are able to capitalize on that situation. At least in looking for something topside.
Looks like he might just be getting a recall on. But Surrogate walking out. Okay, now he's just getting a ward. Looks like Lee Sin might be looking for something.
Yeah, he cancels it.
Seems like Urgo might know something's up.
Certainly could. I know I would. You know, it's no secret Lee Sin has a very, very fast clear and is very good at early ganks there too. Ooh, big pull comes through from Dwan. Gets the pull into Debang, who's able to flash away. With just a little bit of their health bar left, Turtle now on the run from 068. Looks to get the kill, but does not find it. Those health bars for the Wichita Wolves getting lower and lower every time, Rhino.
Yeah, it's looking like they are going to force a recall. The Diana might catch this Leona in the bush if the flank can get a pull. Oh, he got it. Looks like that was probably a kill. Oh, no. Leona flashed out. The Lee Sin is here.
Jackie Chan on the run, loses a bit of their health bar. PK caught up in the tether. Does a lot of damage to X-Ranger, who's now on the run away from the Urgot. Just going to tell him, man, get out of here, man. This is my wave. Not going to touch this, but needs to go back to even up top side.
Yeah, it looks like both of them have used all their pots. It looks like the Aatrox will come out with a little bit of a health advantage here, but not much. It looks like PK was able to bring it back and get a good trade for himself.
And bringing it back from the brink there. Really, he's able to clear this last minion and might go into X-Ranger? No, gonna back up for the time being. He doesn't quite have tracking on Lee Sin, which is a spooky place to be, right, for a top laner. You mentioned just how effective Lee Sin is into the Urgot, so you want to be careful of that one. So he's trying to get tracking on him now. Get some deep vision down.
Looks like he will get that ward down there. We'll spot him. Won't spot him out for a little bit, but he does know that their wolves are up. Yeah, there you go. You see the pings coming through. He's letting them know. So they know that the Lee Sin will be path the top side here in a little bit.
Certainly should be, and they'll have that information. Takes the blast cone over the wall there too. That doesn't hurt Lee Sin as much as it does other junglers, but you know it's still a free way to go over that wall. So helps him out a little bit there. But looking to go wide down bot side for Swain. Oh, here's Atlas. It's on the ward. See if the bot kill goes to the 1v1. This is a deadly place for Atlas to be.
He wanted to get that ward. I mean, he gets out. He gets out fine. Looks like these wards are helping them know where that Lee Sin is staying. Looks like he might be pathing bot side. Looking like he wants to go bear top side. He's gonna try to set up for this drag. It looks like.
Vigar dropping a lot of damage there on the bot kill, but it's just a little bit of trading going on there mid lane. Lucian will be okay for the time being. Starting to run out of mana though. Might want to think about taking the reset, maybe picking up blue off his jungle or something like that. See what he does. Try to conserve as much mana as possible. Atlas looking for a play still on this mid lane. Let's have the ward hop up. Here we go. Yeah, Atlas in onto VOD kill. Doesn't have ultimate though, so he's only able to deal some solid damage. Might just push Lucian. Yeah, pushes Lucian out of the lane. He's gonna take that reset for the mana, for the health there as well. First dragon of the game is up. It's that Ocean Dragon. Jackie Chan trying to get onto it.
Is sitting here with the better back than Lee Sin currently, so it would be favorable for the fight. Lucian does back. He is actually running cleanse instead of TP, so Vigar will always have the TP advantage over him. Looks like he took that just for the Vigar cage, and so did Ash.
This is a great play from Jackie Chan, pulling this dragon so far out and away from the Lee Sin. Oh, but it doesn't matter. The steal comes through anyway. Jackie Chan just absolutely blown up. Fantastic movement there from the Wichita Wolves, and just a really, really good steal from Atlas. He wasn't able to go over the wall there. Actually, just had to walk around. He's walked right up and stole it. It's just a really good smite fight.
And they pick up the kill onto the Vigar, which is really good. That gets him some more of that, gets him more impactful early on, and he will start hurting.
Yeah, Wichita Wolves already looking much better than they did in game one. Looking to threaten GPPK in their perfect series here between the two teams. See if they can keep it up as they move forward. It's a good healthy CS lead there for Atlas, and really for almost everybody on the Wichita Wolves. It's really just Impact who's down in CS, and picking up that kill there around the dragon puts him back onto the even with the bod kill. So things looking pretty good for the Wolves.
Yeah. They're sitting with only a 600 gold lead. It isn't too much, but they also got that drag ahead of them, and it looks like they do have the better scaling team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, Caitlyn struggles in the mid game, but her late game, once she starts getting that crit chance up.
Bod kill with the culling comes in, gets a kill down on Impact, but dies in kind to Atlas with that counter gank there just behind the turret. PK down a level, might be in trouble, but it's just trades going back and forth, folks. Yeah, so both of our mid laners went down, and they'll start to fall behind in scaling to our top laners. They continue going down that quickly. Death timer's pretty long now as we approach 10 minutes.
That Lucian's just now coming up. It looks like that wave is going to be slow pushing into Lucian, so it's a little more favorable for him because he had that wave shoved in as he got the kill, but...
Yeah, he did get the kill. Impact did not, right? That kill went down to Atlas, so...
Yeah.
Oh, here's the teleport from the Vigar behind the plate on bot side. Turtle going in on 068. 068 gonna find out the hard way why they call him Impact. Impact in onto Dwan now. It's 3v1 versus this Swain. No real way for him to get out, but he's still alive, still up. Jackie Chan maybe looking to fight 1v3. Says, no, I'm not about that life. Gonna back off of that bot lane, and it is Wichita Wolves with another favorable play here, Rhino.
Yeah, it's another kill onto the Vigar. I think Vigar already has 4 KP, and he has 100% KP this game. He's going to be getting those stacks, and he's once he gets an item or two, he's gonna be able to start threatening this Lucian by himself, actually.
Yeah, you definitely see the threat there. Lucian attacked by Atlas. Atlas is in, but it's just too much damage. The Moonfall comes through. 1v3 finds Impact themselves. Gonna go golden under turret, but it might not be enough here. Jackie Chan forward is going to go down. No, actually lives through with that Triumph proc as they're able to get the kill onto Impact, to get the assist, excuse me. That's going to be more plating down to the bod kill as they pull further ahead here. We can check out the individual gold between these two players, and yeah, with that last play, it's going to be about a 700 gold lead here for our Lucian.
Yeah, that Lucian is, with that farm lead, he's keeping himself ahead, so it looks like he might be able to stay out of that Vigar for a little longer. I'm curious as to why the Urgo, after the Vigar went golden, why he didn't just immediately recast his R instead. Forced his Diana to take a couple turret shots and almost actually cost him a kill.
Yeah, close play there. Definitely could have been better played, but you know, you come out of a dive like that with all members intact and call that a success, but
yeah,
could have been more efficient for sure. PK shoves that lane in, probably gonna take the reset here, but Rift Herald was picked up at some point by Atlas. He get dropped here in the mid lane. Get some nice plating gold down for him and his mid laner.
Yeah, I think the Wichita Wolves are just trying to kind of funnel all that gold into the Vigar that they can, because late game, the damage he can put down onto both tanks and squishies. He can one-shot the squishies with just his QW. One thing I like to see out of that last play was, even though it didn't end up working out for them too well, is you can see the potential of the Vigar cage into the Lee Sin kick. It just forces that stun and allows them to get whatever they want onto that one target.
You love to see it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure Impact can blow up some of these carries just by looking at them. It's looking pretty scary right now, but PK tethered up again up in that topside trade. Next dragon is up here for you in about 5 seconds. It's going to be a Cloud Dragon. Even this with the Mountain or the Infernal Soul. 3v1 topside X-Ranger is hard engaged on, and he is going to get just ground up into ground beef there. That's rough one there for X-Ranger, but it's a lot of resources used by GPPK up topside. That's going to mean free dragon here for the Wichita Wolves.
So it looks like, even though the Wolves are going to get that dragon, that Urgo's already taken 2 plates off top tower. He might be looking for a third one, it looks like. That's a lot of gold going on the Urgo, along with the kill on the Aatrox.
Definitely is. Could be a pretty scary champion moving forward. Lucian R used once again, this time not hitting Impact quite as much, but X-Ranger with the teleport topside says, no, this is how this matchup goes right here. And you said it, Rhino, this is not a good matchup for the Urgot. And he is going to be able to get him down. That looked pretty easy for him. Made it look like child's play, Rhino.
Yeah, and while that was going on, we had Wichita Wolves tried to 3-man the bod kill in mid, and they got his cleanse, but that was about all they got out of it. They burned a lot of resources, and he was able to get out of there with cleanse. Shows you the exact reason why he took it. The Leona Vigar Lee Sin is really good.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me, right? You don't want to get stunned up with all that damage coming your way, especially not that Vigar damage with the itemization he has right now. Down bot side now.
It's looking like the Vigar did opt for the Seekers in that matchup to give him a little more survivability against the Lucian.
Yeah, it makes the most sense to me, I would think. It just helps him out, get through this laning phase, and then Vigar's pretty golden at that point. You just kind of outscale him, so getting the damage items at this stage of the game isn't as important as just surviving through it. Yeah, you see that damage go through on Impact. That's a lot. 3v1 on the bot kill, 4v1 even, and he's going to go down almost instantly. Impact. I don't know about this positioning, buddy. Jackie Chan's in with the Moonlight and the Moonfall. Gonna find the kill there on the Vigar, but PK pushing forward with the W. X-Ranger says, no. That's not how this works, buddy.
And the Urgo has hit the level 9 power spike. Once you get that W max, you don't. It's no longer an ability that you have to activate and then it goes away after a certain time. You can turn it off and on as you please and leave it on as long as you would like. So that does help out the Ugo a lot.
Great point there, Rhino. So a little bit more agency here for PK topside. Remember, everybody else on GPPK is a good player, but then there's PK. Maybe he's a great player. Maybe that's what they mean by that.
Looks like this Diana's level 11 should be coming through here in a little bit. That'll help her a lot in these team fights. The damage you can get through, if you're hit one or two people with that, it can shred through some of those the Wichita Wolves.
Bodkill looking to finish off this turret. Should be able to get it. Not quite first turret, but it's nice to take the mid turret regardless. Breaks open the map for you and lets you roam around a little bit more, have some more agency as far as just your rotations go. You see a little bit of that already as it looks like the Bodkill's taking off down for the bot side.
Yep, and you can see the pings coming through. The Ashe is rotating to the mid. The Ashe man is rotating there to pick up the farm there. Hopefully the bot kills helping pick up that bot tier 1 that the Ashe lane wasn't able to pick up.
He's got a pretty good argument for it too, right? The 1v1 for the bot kill, especially with the impact so far, has been pretty one-sided for the Lucian. So
yeah,
should have no trouble at least pressuring this turret. It's going to require some real resource allocation here from the Wichita Wolves to try and prevent him from doing that. And right now, they're allocating those resources up top side where you find the Rift Herald. Ooh, there goes the bot kill, just going for the dive.
Ooh, that was really clean dive. Just the Colin can cause so much damage from so far away. It's such a good ability in those early phases.
It sure can. That tether's deadly for X-Ranger, right? You really lock up PK. He doesn't have a lot of movement speed while he has that W activated. It's a pretty easy way to proc that ability. Vodka gonna, easily take that tier 1 turret. There's a lot of damage coming out of this champion right now.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are trying to funnel as much gold as they can into those mid laners. They're both really strong chance to carry on both sides.
Definitely, right? I mean, you have this Vigard infinitely scaling and able to land a lot of abilities. He's hitting these abilities on enemy champions that are very close range and don't have a lot of counterplay too, just eating these abilities, right? I mean, the only real counterplay, especially for the bot kill and for Jackie Chan, is to try and kill him before he can get enough procs on you, which has been successful so far, but as we start getting these skirmishes and team fights, it's going to be harder to access this Vigard.
Yeah, the Vigor just will have his cooldowns up much more frequently, and once they are out of the skirmishing phase, just being able to sit behind his Leona, his Aatrox, he will be much safer and be able to just keep throwing down those abilities and melting through the front line of GPK.
It's gonna be a fight over the dragon now. This is the third dragon. Puts Wichita Wolves on Dragon Soul Point, so an important objective for them, and really for both teams. Oh, there's the ult out. It nails Impact V6, but there's no engage to follow up. There's a calling down, hits X-Ranger, but is quickly knocked up out of the ability. In goes Atlas, just deletes Jackie Chan. There's not a lot of hope left for GPK. X-Ranger with the damage, so much AoE. Impact is going to take out PK on the front line. There's no hope left for GPK. 068 is running away. The VOD kill, almost a full health bar, runs away as well. And there's no losses for the Wichita Wolves here, Rhino.
Yeah, that is looking really, really good for Wichita Wolves. Looks like they might be able to bring this to a game 3. That's the way it's looking. Their team scales really well, too.
Yeah, they have great scaling. They apparently have a fantastic team fight. I'm not sure if that was just misplayed by GPPK or perhaps a fantastic engage there from the Wichita Wolves. But either way, that was a very one-sided fight. I have to say, I expected a more, a more confident engage after that initial stun went down from 068, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't meant to be. I mean, they even landed on Impact, right? Who is a huge damage dealer for their team. And I guess they just weren't satisfied with that. They wanted to get on to a different target.
Yeah, and just with the way they were able to pick out Jackie Chan on the Diana, he wasn't able to get any damage through, which with the Diana, with the farm he has, and he should be able to, he's a lot of GPPK's damage, and not being able to get that ult through can hurt them a lot in those fights.
Yeah, their damage output in team fights is largely dependent on that Moonfall and that AoE damage coming out of the Diana, but Juan catches out Turtle. Vodkill trying to get that damage down. The call comes out and is able to catch out CLG Turtle on the Leona. That's a pretty good pick there for the mid laner, but PK looking for impact. They switch up the lane assignments. Try to get Vodkill onto some more meaningful targets here, and it's worked out so far for them. See if PK can do anything down bot. Not really expecting so. It's a pretty play. You thought Lucian was close range, or got way closer. Oh, here we go. Big shot into 068 is able to make it out. Dwan procs the ultimate immediately and is able to force off the remaining members of the Wichita Wolves. But that was a close one. 068 almost went down.
And that Lucian is just slowly getting more and more powerful. He's throwing him into the top lane, looking to pick up another turret onto him. He's already picked up 2 turrets. He's currently sitting 1.5 gold above just the mid laner alone. He's sitting on 9k gold, 2 full items, looking to get his 3rd.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's got the most CS in the game, the most kills in the game there too. So, it will be the Wichita Wolves starting with the Baron. They're trying to end this game sooner rather than later, or at least try to bait GPPK into a fight. That might be the move here, as they have massive vision control over this area. GPPK gonna find out that they've dropped the Baron so far, and nothing real comes of this play. But it's good on GPPK not to get baited into that fight, right? I don't think you can go for that.
Yeah, it looks like with the Wolves, we'll just leave that Aatrox to side lane, which currently is unanswered. Don't know quite sure if the Wolves. I mean, if the Wolves know that. I mean, yeah, if the Wolves know that anyone's going to respond, and it looks like it's playing a little safe, but no one's blocking him yet.
I would agree. 2 Gore Drinkers there for the Wichita Wolves, with the Lee Sin and the Aatrox there. Pretty good item. We tend to see more Divine Sunders recently, but Gore Drinker just a little bit stronger for Aatrox.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see no Thunders. It's been an item that's been dominating the meta for the past couple patches. It's super strong. Just the extra damage you get from the Sheen and then the healing you get as well from the passive once you complete the items can be really impactful both in lane and once you get the team fight.
Oh, Atlas over the wall and a Dwan goes golden. Also procs the ultimate. Gonna be walking away from that one, but it's a teleport down to the back line here for PK. PK, maybe not where he wanted to be, maybe exactly where he wanted to be. X-Ranger caught out by 068, dropping the damage onto him en masse now. Turtle laid low, he's suppressed into PK. Another kill goes down as Turtle falls, Atlas along with them. The Vodkill looking for X-Ranger now. He's got fancy feet, he's got the blue suede shoes, and it's just enough to kill X-Ranger on the Aatrox. All of a sudden, GPPK take back control of the game.
Yeah, I know that Urgo was able to get that GP, even though it did look a little bit sketchy. He got the flip and then was able to flash out, which he gave GPPK the ability to get that first pick, and then from then on just win that fight.
Yeah, getting that execute down to CLG Turtle, I think it might have been Atlas, but getting that execute down, that was a pretty big health bar he was able to execute, which saves his team a lot of trouble in trying to get a kill down on the enemy champion. So providing his team a lot of value so far as the Urgot continues to scale. And that's what we like to see. We hadn't really pegged this team as a scaling team, but if they continue to use Urgot in this fashion, and if the bot kill isn't really falling off, the scaling isn't really going to matter.
Yeah, and 068, that fight was able to put in a lot of damage with that lethal tempo. He was just able to walk CLG Turtle down, eventually get that execute for the Urgo, but now that he has that shield blow down, it looks like he's about to finish up his with them, just like we saw the Ash go last game.
Yeah, and they break up the dragons.
Damage down.
Yeah, they break up the dragons there too and stop that dragon onslaught that Wichita Wolves had going. Might be faltering here a little bit in the late game, and like we previously mentioned just a minute ago, that's pretty surprising. We had this team clocked as the scaling team with the Vygar, with the Caitlyn, and it doesn't seem like it's really coming together for them, right?
Yeah, the Caitlyn's struggling in the mid game. She hasn't really been able to put down any damage in these past couple fights. When Caitlyn, I'm actually really curious to see this Caitlyn when eclipsed over a crit item, which, I mean, I could be wrong, but from my experience, that reduces your damage a lot because Caitlyn late game relies on having that high crit chance and her autos being able to do so much damage.
I would say in the late game over the crit build, it definitely reduces your damage at that stage of the game. I think early game lethality, Caitlyn's probably dealing more damage, but
Yeah.
and that's kind of been in line with what we've seen, right? And she's 305. She's got a massive CS lead. She's had a really good laning phase, but we might be approaching that point in the game where lethality Caitlyn was not a better option here.
Yeah.
Then maybe they wanted to go for more of a crit build, but hard to tell, right? You made the point last fight. Just wasn't really there for the fight. Wasn't able to make a lot. Big arrow goes up top side. Gonna miss just by a little bit though. Almost hit Atlas, but yeah, I'd definitely like to see Debay get an angle in one of these team fights, see what they can really do.
And it looks like we will just continue to see this Aatrox and Lucian this side. Well, this the Aatrox side laning to the side of the Wolves and keeping the Lucian in the side lanes where GPK hoping to take down more towers like he's been able to do so far throughout the game.
Oh, there we go. Bod kill maybe caught out. He's got the numbers though on his side. There goes the Swain ultimate once again. The cooldown is pretty low for him there. He's been using it just as in that support role as more of a deterrent than anything really aggressive. And that's what you need to be doing, right? You need to be trying to avoid your carries getting picked yourself. And that's something Dwan's been doing really, really well.
Yeah, it's only sitting on currently on a 77-second cooldown, which isn't that long considering right now GPK isn't really looking to force any fights for themselves. They're just going to wait for objectives and try to scale up as much as they can for the soul point and hopefully be able to win that fight. Because if the Wolves are able to pick up the soul, that Mountain Soul will be able to give them so much more survivability through these fights and through the Ergo Execute and through the Swain ult.
Definitely. That next drag coming up in 2 minutes, 15 seconds. So still a while out, but plenty of time to prepare for the Wichita Wolves to prepare here for that objective. See the ace in the hole come out there. Gonna hit 068 for some pretty solid damage. This is pretty typical of Caitlyn's. You use this on cooldown because it's not really good for you to use it in fights. It kind of ends up inhibiting your damage output. You end up standing still for a really long time, and then you get that big burst of damage. But in the same amount of time, if you're just autoing, you could probably get a little bit more, and you can move while you're doing it. So,
yeah, a lot of people will just, like you said, just use it on cooldown, just get some poke in, just use it before fights, or there's the occasional time where if you haven't used it before a fight and somebody does get out 1 HP, you can get that last pick. But that's such a rare opportunity that somebody will be getting out of a fight that will help, and you'll have it off cooldown.
Definitely. Plus, it runs up the damage to champions numbers in the post-game screening. Your coach loves those, so we want to run those numbers up as much as possible. If you come out of the game and your Leona's out damaging you, we're going to have problems no matter who won the game, so.
Looks like both teams, like I said, just farming up. No one really trying to force this ban. Neither team can. Got that dragon down to less than a minute now.
Scuttle Shrine was taken there for red side. Some a little bit of control of the objective. Turtle looking to secure vision control. I don't know why I said secure so strangely. That was weird. So Juan sweeping it back now. Vision game. He played in earnest now. Turtle might be caught out. Nope, gonna walk away.
Ergo's still walking from base. Currently doesn't have any really big wards he can flank from or anything with the TP, but looks like he is almost scared of this fight, so probably won't need to use the TP.
Yeah, the Wolves have done really well in this vision control game. You can see they have a lot of map control so far. 1,000k gold lead and all the stats on the Dragons. Here's the fight. Turtle's in, Atlas in too. We'll push back. There goes the arrow. Turtle caught all the way out, and the damage from 068 is just wild so far. X-Ranger with some of the damage from themselves. Gets the tether down, gets a kill on Swain. Is going to drop the Qs. There's Q1. Here's Q2. He doesn't get it off. Debay dropping all of that lethality damage on the enemy team. Finally finds an angle where he could shoot from and is able to get themselves a team fight victory. It's just 2 members left here for GPPK for the bot kill and 06A, and this is going to secure them the final dragon they needed.
That Mountain Soul, although it isn't inherently the best on the team, other than for the Leona, because they're not building a ton of resistances, will still give them that survivability through the burst of the side of GPK, because that's a lot of what they're trying to do. They're trying to burst the Moonfall, the Coaling, and the Swainar, but Looks like that Mount Soul will help them survive through that and be able to hopefully keep that Caitlyn alive like that last fight where she was able to just finally be able to lay down all of her damage onto them and eventually carry through that fight.
It certainly will, and stacked up the mountain dragons, um, and also just the inherent resistances you get from having this mountain soul is pretty strong for this team too, right? This team is kind of an off-center front line. They're not full tanks, mostly just bruisers. You call Aatrox like a juggernaut, something like that, and you got a support tank. But with this mountain soul, it makes them a pretty competent front line, right?
Yeah.
Tough to cut through with all these different resistances and with that passive shield on the front there too. So there's that ace in the hole once again, and 068 gonna take the reset immediately.
Sick. Once again, it looks like both teams are probably just gonna be farming up. Looks like I can see if the Wichita Wolves probably trying to like maybe bait GPK into a fight around Baron. Cause now that they have that goal, I think they do have the advantage and maybe get another item or two finished for the. So yeah, there you go. The Starrick's coming through for the Aatrox, and he's a lot more powerful now. He has a lot more survivability. It's even that much harder to get through that front line.
For sure. Just being on any 3 items is going to be a strong point for any champion, but these are some pretty solid items for Aatrox. It's going to be very difficult to kill moving forward here. That passive shield with the Sterex shield later in a fight, I don't know how GPPK are going to cut through this guy, but they're going to give it a shot here. It's the Baron should be the next play now as we approach 32 minutes. Both these teams should be fighting over this objective. PK has teleport to join the fight. And the fight should be coming up any minute now. There's the teleport in onto the mid lane. Oh, they're going to back off for the time being.
It looks like the Wolves just wanted to force at that teleport, make sure he doesn't have it, so now he can't put on that side lane pressure without having the risk of that Baron coming now.
Yep, so they blow that teleport. Maybe just trying to get a pick here. Jackie Chan is going to get attacked. Atlas over the wall for a little bit of safety.
Oh, the Aatrox TP on the flank.
Oh, here he comes. There's Q1. Q2 comes out. Q3's got the ultimate up. It's healing him, but he goes down. It's 1v5 now, but here's his team. They've arrived to Bay, dropping the damage in with that sniper rifle. Oh, man. Look at the damage from lethality. Caitlyn right now, the bod kill just gets absolutely blown up with Atlas on the finisher there. I think it was just the 1 kill for DeBay, but we can go ahead and call those kills stolen. That was so much damage coming out of this champion. They're going to start up this Baron with just the 2 men here, Rhino.
Yeah, that Aatrox TP behind was able to get so much damage down before he got picked, especially through that Gore Drinker was able to just keep him. They had to pick him through the Gore Drinker, through the Mountain Soul, through the Sterex Shield. It was just so much damage that he had to put down before all 5 members were putting their damage onto him. At that point, the rest of the Wolves were able to set up and just lay down the rest of the damage to finish off UPK.
Yeah, and they really finished him off there too. Meanwhile, down the bot side, Impact is taking away all the camps from Jackie Chan. No more camps for the Diana, unfortunately, while the Vygar continues to scale. He's still behind in CS from the bot kill, but keep in mind that inherent infinite scaling from the Impact is going to be just paying off for them in spades, right? As he continues with this game and moving it forward. Being able to free hit over the wall in that last fight was a massive boon there for the Vygar. He probably got a good amount of stacks out of that last fight, and I'd imagine he's at in one-shot territory for some of these carries.
Yeah, he's currently, I just checked on him, he's currently sitting at 243 stacks in that phenomenal evil power, so he's sitting at 660 total AP.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And he's also sitting with the 10 stack Darksteel now after that fight.
Jeez, might see the Soul Stealer coming up pretty soon. There's Ace in the hole once again in onto Ash, but
just half helping me.
Yeah, just casually half healthing him. It's a competent pick tool too, right? I mean, if you can get Atlas in range of that Ash when that Ace in the hole goes off, it's over for him. But no, if they're gonna walk all the way back, yikes. Doesn't feel very good.
Looks like they are going to be setting up for this drag. Once again, the Wolves will have really good vision set up for this. Rhino is just coming out of base. Will hopefully clear out any vision that the
Oof.
that GPK has left.
PK able to dash out of the tether, but X-Ranger is sticking to him. Debate here in support, but it's just 2v3. They're going to blast cone over the wall.
See the
Debate
final
setting up
bits
the
of both
perimeter.
teams coming into here.
Yeah.
This Caitlyn trap setting up a really good choke point for the side of the Wolves. Looks like GPK is going to have to walk all the way around.
Yeah, both sides looking to play for Elder Dragon now, which is up in 10 seconds. Oh, Alice just barely missing that. Ooh, Turtle eats the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Gonna eat a good bit of the culling as well, but it's just not enough. Those passive shields are mitigating a lot of damage, and it's already back up, you'll see there.
Yeah, so much of that damage already used through those two ultimates, and now a lot of their engage as well is gone. It's just gonna look really hard for GPK to get in here.
Yeah, the pick potential, the engage, starting to wane now from GPPK. Could be the engage from Atlas. Atlas is in. He's gonna knock, kick back, PK. PK not able to do much. Jackie Chan goes down as well, with Swain falling right up. Now it's 2v5, 068. There's nothing to do for him. The Vodkill running away, and Impact solo chasing him down. Vigar backing off after just a little bit. This Elder Dragon is all but spoken for. Meanwhile, X-Ranger, he's gonna try and end the game. Impact could have problems with the Vodkill, but this isn't gonna have too big an implication on the rest of the match here. That is a shutdown gold going over to the Vodkill, though. Turtle maybe now trying to solo up the Vodkill. Not sure why that happened, but Turtle's going to go down as well. Vodkill now find themselves in a 1v3 situation on Summoner's Rift. Maybe...
Looked like that Caitlyn was possibly looking for that, but chose not to.
Yeah, 1v2 here down bot lane. This isn't too bad. He's going to try and execute. I don't know. I feel like that's a winnable fight for him. You know?
And that
I don't know.
I feel like with the lethality Caitlyn, if she gets a Q off on him, it might just call his end with the Elder Dragon currently being up on her still.
Ooh, yeah, with the Elder Dragon, yeah, that definitely wouldn't be able to win that fight. Yeah, I'll agree with that. But the Elder Dragon buff is no joke. But Alice clearing out the rest of the camps. It looks like GPK are in their death throes now. Might be going to game 3 here, Rhino.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Wolves here. They're pulling off this comp really well, even though we were starting to doubt their scaling a little bit. After those two fights, we're now seeing the true power of their scaling coming through, and it's really, really hard for GK to find a fight that they like. Just through that Mountain Soul, they're just all their poke from the culling, all their engaged in the Ash Arrows, just feels pretty useless for them at this point. It feels like even when they are able to get a good one, it just doesn't do much through that soul.
It really doesn't. It provides them so much just sustain and survivability in those team fights. Makes the team fights very difficult for them there. But Impact opting for the death cap over Soul Stealer, losing some of those stacks in the 1v1 versus the bot kill. Bot kill in trouble now. Atlas looking for the engage, able to find it. Down goes the bot kill to the execute from the Elder. Jackie Chan now looking for the Moonfall, finds it. Resurrected, though, is Atlas. Down goes Jackie Chan, 068, not long for this world either. Dwan right behind them, and this will be the end of game 2 here for the Wichita Wolves. They'll take home this W almost assuredly, as there is no one left but PK. And as we know from the team name, PK is just not a good player.
Looks like we will see that in there. Really well played game for the Wolves. Looked a little bit iffy in the mid game, but overall, pretty good, pretty impressive performance from them.
Yeah, good players in PK. We heard good things about them going into this game too, but Wichita Wolves just went deep within themselves and found something in there, and they were able to use that to win this game. It really seemed like it was just the team comp that they were using, and just their knowledge and ability to make use of its strengths that was giving them so much power, right? Even though the Bodkill and Jackie Chan were having really good games, getting the CS numbers all stacked up, and overall having good KDAs, all that good stuff, it was just really Wichita Wolves outmaneuvering them. especially in terms of that macro gameplay, able to stack up that Dragon Soul, gave this team an unbelievable advantage, and they rolled that into the victory.
Yeah, it looked like that Lucian was possibly going to be able to carry GPK over through the team fights, but as you can see, as soon as the Wolves were able to pick up that Mountain Soul, so much of that Lucian's damage was just mitigated, and they weren't able to get anything through, and the Wolves were just able to overall just win every fight from then on. They played it really well and played the macro save, didn't force anything that they didn't need to, and overall got the win.
Yeah, exciting stuff here. And we are going to be casting game 3 of this series here in just a little bit. But before that, we're going to cut to a little bit of a break just to give you guys time to go and grab snacks or do whatever you want. Uh, want to get done here before we cover that third game. But Max 97, this is Rhino. We'll be right back with more Premade Dominate Week 3. Hello and welcome back to Risen Esports Premade Dominate Week 3 here on the Risen Esports channel. Maxman87 will be play-by-play casting for you this afternoon, joined by Rhino on color here. Looking at Game 3 of the Wichita Wolves versus Good Players and PK. PK is their top laner. And will be GPPK on the blue side, Wichita Wolves on the red. Rhino, what are we expecting here from this Game 3?
So last game we saw that lethality Caitlyn ended up, even though it did struggle for a little bit, once he was able to get that positioning, it put through a lot of damage. Looks like we might see that ban again. Yep, there we go. And I wonder if we will see the Draven ban again from the side of the Wichita Wolves. It looks like it was 068's by far most played ADC. They banned it last game, but I wonder if we will see that come through again this game.
Let's see here. This last ban, they're hovering on it for a considerable amount of time, trying to mull things over. Do we give him Draven back? Do we take the Ashe away? It's first pick coming through here. Yeah, Draven going to be taken away. Just the one first pick from GPPK. Zhao going to be locked in. Another two from the Wichita Wolves. See what they pick here.
Yeah, since that tends to be a really high priority pick lately, it's really strong pick in that it has so much good early skirmishing. The power of that ult can be really good in those early team fights. He does start to fall off towards the later game, but as long as he can get this lane snowballing or get himself snowballing through those early phases, he can swing a game really, really hard.
Certainly can. One of the stronger early game junglers. Certainly one of the stronger early game junglers in the meta right now. Khan locked in. Xayah followed up. It's a pretty easy duo to match together, right?
Yeah,
like chemistry.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see it both locked in blind, but I mean, as long as you draft one, the other one's obviously always going to be a good pick with it as well. Just hope that GPPK can't answer it too well.
Yeah, and the bot lane from the Wichita Wolves has been a strong point for them. We saw that in Game 2. Lethality Caitlyn really brought the heat. We'll go ahead and say there. So, and that was a blind pick there as well in the Caitlyn. So, the Xayah Rakan blind, not as bad as perhaps some other teams would be. Syndra hovered. He
Looks
locked
like
in.
that. The Syndra Zinza duo by GPPK was so much good early prio in that early game, along with the Leona, as long as she's able to get freed up and get some roams, especially on those. Especially, I don't think there's any way the Wichita Wolves can contest the bot lane scuttle against the Zen Leona Syndra if GPPK chooses to fight it. Looks like we will see the Sejuani coming through for the side of the Wolves. No melee champ so far. The Rakan is considered a range champ. Daughters are a little further than normal, not quite as big as the normal range champ, but still not much to proc the Sejuani passive off.
Yeah, unfortunate for them there, but GPPK looking for their bans here in the second round of bans. They're going to ban away some solo laners from the Wichita Wolves. What are you thinking they're going to take away? The Gnar ban coming through. It's a relic from Game 2. See that come back here. No, the Aatrox actually going to be taken off the table. There's the Gnar up.
Yeah, choose leave the Gnar up. Looks like they're a little scared of that Aatrox last game. He was able to put in a lot of work in that last game, especially on that one fight where he got that flank behind him, and that's kind of where they swung the game around.
Certainly there, and Tristana going to be banned. Not allowing that to go through for the good players. Last ban of the draft is going to come through in just a little bit. Expecting Gnar here, but that might well get left up for the Wichita Wolves.
Yeah, Gnar is always a good blind pick. It's a good safe pick. He has good matchups, but even if he's into not too great of a matchup, as long as it's not the Aurelia, which is the classic counter pick to him, he's typically a good blindable pick for top lane.
Certainly, it should be Malzahar and Gnar. Those are the bans that were left on the table for good players that they had banned in Game 2. So we'll see if Wichita Wolves goes for either of those. Like you mentioned, the Gnar, pretty good blind here.
Oh,
Quirky. Okay.
Looks like we're going to see the Cork coming through. It's another range pick. Doesn't go out to Sejuani, but once again just provides what won them through that last game, just that scaling comp through the mid lane. Impact was able to put in a lot of work on the Vigar, so I guess I can see the reasoning behind putting him on another scaling champ and seeing what he can do with it, especially with those packages.
Yeah, very similar champion, what they're trying to accomplish, right? Try to scale up, get lots of CS in Corky's case, and really get to that mid to late game as fast as possible. You start laying down the hybrid damage, but Ornn is going to be locked in for PK here, not for the good players. And Kog'Maw, the final pick for GPPK.
Looks like we love that Kog'Maw lay on the bot lane. It's Kog'Maw, even though he is a hyperscaler, a lot of people underestimate the damage that he can put down early. He can hurt in lane, even though I feel like this Xayah Rakan will have enough peel for themselves that they shouldn't be too worried about it. But in that late game, that Kog'Maw could cause a lot of problems for the side of the Wolves.
100%, right? You could also just be really safe in your own lane with that range and let Leona roam around like Leona wants to. And that could be another pretty good strategy there for this bot lane. But Camille going to get locked in for the Wichita Wolves up in their top lane. They'll be into the Ornn.
Yeah, I think the Camille has been seeing a lot of play lately. I don't know how that matchup exactly goes. It feels like it would be good for the Ornn once he gets past one or two items. Like, not even one or two items, but once he gets like Tabai Bombies, I feel like he could be able to put some oppression into the Camille, because when the Camille goes to Eon to him, he can always cast his W, which makes him unstoppable, which could make trading really hard for the Camille.
Certainly looks that way, and I like this Syndra pick so far. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. All that single target damage dropped onto the Corki is going to be really useful for them. It was that impact player that was so meaningful, so impactful there for his team in game 2, and being able to drop that single target damage onto this Corki is going to be really important for them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I always love watching Corki. He has a lot of playmaking potential in that late game with the package, breaking up the teams, putting down a lot of damage. If anybody ever does want to recross through that package, they will be taking a world of hurt by walking through it.
Certainly, yeah. You don't want to walk through the fire. It's a high-level strat, but Trundle banned away there. And we're getting into the actual client draft, and we'll be able to tell you where everybody ends up. I don't think there's any real secret, though. Pretty sure everyone's well locked into where they're going. We did end up getting a melee champion there for the Sejuani and the Camille, and able to actually stack up Sejuani passive pretty quickly with the Q, right? Some powered auto is going to be helping him out.
Yeah, that should be a pretty good combo. Really got a pick potential with the Sejuani Camille, because Sejuani hits a good R, Camille engages with the E, and then if they really need a Camille can quick R as well. But so if they find somebody locked out on that top side, that Ornn oversteps, they could lock him down and kill him really easily.
Yeah, so a good top side duo there, maybe looking to play around the top side while they let their bottom side scale up a little bit. Xayah and Corki, two heavily scaling champions, and those ranged champions there. But we'll have to see how they play this one out. Sejuani not hugely popular right now, so it's a little bit of an off-meta pick, we'll say.
Yeah, I always think Sejuani, even if she is off meta, does have some power to her against certain team comps. I don't know if I think I like it into the Zen Zhao too much. I think Zen can be looking for some invades here with the Syndra Leona, as long as they can walk up with him and just leave that Kog'Maw to farm in the lane with Xayah.
Yeah, Zen has a pretty good time into tank junglers. He deals with them pretty well. Most tank junglers are either trying to scale up or trying to use their utility to get early ganks off, but not too many tank junglers are very good at just like straight up 1v1ing enemy champions, and Xin Zhao is very, very good at that and can shred them down in pretty low amount of time, pretty small amount of time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I think they might have some trouble getting to that Xayah in the late team fights, though, through her R. I think hopefully the goal for the side of PK should be either baiting that out with either the Syndra Scat of the week or the Leona ult. I think that way, once they get it out, I think they need to try to get a pick on her, because late game, her and that Corki are going to be putting so much damage down onto this, all from the side of the Wolves.
Definitely, and from a pretty good range there too, right? So you want to be careful of that, but looks like we got that client draft figured out, and we are ready to move into the spectator delay here in just a little bit. And just a couple of closing thoughts before we move on to that spectator delay. This top side, talked about the duo between X-Ranger and Atlas. Super strong game 2, and it looks to be similar here in game 3, but maybe it could be Atlas looking to focus a little bit more around the bot side, as the bot kill and 068 were such huge contenders for GPPK in game 2. Any thoughts, Rhino? Think we might have lost Rhino there. Not 100% on that, but we are going to throw it to a little bit of a break here as we move into the spectator delay. And don't change that channel. We'll be right back with more Risen Esports Premade Dominate. Welcome back to Risen Esports Premade Dominate Week 3. Watching the Wichita Wolves versus the good players in PK. PK is their top laner. I'm Axeman87. Forgot my own name there, Rhino. That was rough. I'll be play casting here for you this afternoon alongside Rhino, my color caster, who's just a little bit better at enunciating than I am.
I don't know what you can say about that. I've struggled myself a little bit, but it's okay. So it looks like we are just getting those early wards on the side of the Wolves. Just getting some early vision on the Sejuani's red.
Yeah, working to get some vision across the map so far. It seems like the 5 points pretty well dead. You gotta get some kind of vision thing going on level 1 and Watching those jungle entrances just isn't as important as it used to be, but see where our junglers end up here. It's looking like Jackie Chan's pathing up top side. Wants to take advantage of having that proximity to their top laner. Might just go for a full clear top side and then go directly into a gank onto X Ranger. We'll have to see where he goes though. We've seen Xin Zhao's, Lee Sin's, these early game junglers go all kinds of different paths. You go 5 camps onto Scuttle, 6 camps onto Scuttle, buff to buff into a gank like it's season 6 or something. It's been the Wild West out here as far as pathing is concerned.
Yeah, it feels like I like to see it because it makes it so that each jungler can kind of have their own creativity on what they want to try to do each game, and it feels a lot more of a variety than the old just full clear, get a scuttle, recall, get your boot, get the Ionian boots like the Udyr Hecarim meta was.
Yeah, and not a lot of creativity like you mentioned in a meta like that. So this is a little bit more preferable, at least if you're in the camp I occupy. But little trades coming out from both sides down the bot side. Lots of range between these two bot lanes here, so it makes sense that they'd be trading up. Trying to hit level 2 as well, is that fully engaged from the Leona is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, especially pre-6 before that Xayah gets her R, those lockets in Leona can really hurt.
It looks pretty painful to me. Impact with the call to start off this game, looking to scale up as much as possible. Corki likes to CS as much as you can, right? You want to have almost perfect CS if you're a Corki, and that's what they're working towards here, and at least hoping for with this call. PK having a rough time topside. We predicted this, but you early picked your top laner. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice little turret shot there onto X Ranger. Is going to leave PK with a health advantage.
Gets the knockup.
Yeah, nice little knockup there to boot. Suddenly X Ranger on the back foot topside.
Looks like we do have the Zen is going to be pathing bot side, so PK is probably just going to have to sit back and just let it happen, even though he is a little bit ahead. The Sejuani's top side, so he's got to be careful with that.
Yeah, Jackie wanting to finish his clear out around the bottom side of the map where he can have an impact on the champions that are having a little bit of a stronger early game. The Syndra, the Leona there too. Makes a lot of sense. Picks up the Scuttle. Gonna be uncontested. Atlas trades back to top one. Fight breaks up bot side. 068 taking so much damage. He's trying to bait the enemy bot lane to push forward, but they know all too well what's waiting for them. It's Jackie Chan with a big old spear.
Yeah, the bot lane got a really good trade. Didn't overpush. Didn't let Jackie get in with the Zen. Looking to get to them.
There we go. X Ranger with the stun. Allows Atlas in onto the rest of the gang. Teleport comes through. That should be canceled. No, Impact with no way to cancel the teleport. It's going to allow bot kill with a way in. Atlas looking for the kill. X Ranger, perhaps not enough damage, gets the kill. Down onto the Ornn. Now bot kill is having to back off as he's 1v2.
And during that fight, the Zen did end up actually killing Impact in the mid lane by himself.
Wow. There you go. Solo kill down there for the jungler. That's some pretty good stuff, and that will set Impact behind. Ooh, Atlas entire straights. Gonna get killed. X Ranger's still in, though.
Oh, actually,
Yeah, gonna get that final kill. I'm not sure. It looked like he took a turret shot. I think Triumph might have healed him up, though.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
So that is going to allow them to survive through that fight, but those precision secondaries are pretty wild, right? You get the grasp, all that extra burst damage, and tank stats from the secondaries and the resolve tree, and then the precision secondaries come through, giving you even more survivability with Triumph. And Camille looking pretty good with that double kill up top side.
Yeah,
things looking up.
Yeah, that Camille's gonna make this Ornn's life really hard now. Now that she has that Queen, that gives her so much damage on her Q auto resets, especially that Q2. It's gonna be hurting that Ornn, especially before he hasn't much armor.
Yeah, agreed there. X Ranger really set up for the remainder of this laning phase. Scales fairly well there too, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some roams coming out from him. Try to roam mid, get a pick onto the Syndra. She has low mobility.
And they had teleported back into the lane after getting killed, so teleport is down for the time being. PK kept theirs up by walking back in the lane, so there's a little bit of an advantage there for GPPK. Quad kill, looking for a solo kill. Has level 6 up. Has the mana to drop it down too. Impact's gonna have to back off for the time being as he's about like 100 health away from that threshold of level 6 killing him. So
Yeah.
that unleashed power, gonna try
There
it
we
here.
go.
Oh, it's so close. There he goes down finally in the queue, but it is a couple members of the Wichita Wolves finding the kill on the VOD kill as he had to step up just a little bit too far to use that unleashed power. A couple members of GPBK here trying to get some revenge. Just playing the vision game.
Yeah, looking like GPK is looking to just kind of keep forcing that lead that they already got. Jack Chan possibly looking for a fight here on the 2v2.
Yeah, Jackie Chan laid low here by Atlas and Turtle, and he's so low. Atlas is going to go down in kind of, no, flashes away actually, might be able to make it out. This could be 1-4-0. And it will be Turtle actually, still in trouble on the Recon. Oh, they get the kill into 068, but Turtle will go down for their crimes. DeBay flashing over the wall. Be safe for the time being. Impact now in trouble, stunned up by Dewan, but he's W over the wall. And he's out. Some low health bars there from Wichita Wolves, but at the end of the day, they come out on top with a kill advantage.
Yeah, also looking really good this game there. Already set up pretty well. There's a little bit of a chaotic fight there. Got the Syndra another kill. But overall, looking positive for the Wolves. Got the Sedge some kills. Mills got some kills. Got a Zaya kill. Cog's pretty far. Cog's gonna probably have a pretty rough laning phase from here on. The
I would say so, yeah.
Zaya with the Sheen should be able to stop him from being able to farm and trade back into her.
Yeah, the Sheen and 2 longswords are going to be difficult to deal with for this Cogma. Strange, a little bit of train topside. Not expecting this to evolve into anything much, but Dwan caught out now. Atlas and Turtle are through the river with the vodka looking to respond. 068 heading them off at the pass. Atlas is going to get taken real low by the Cogma. The damage is insane. Level 6 was a massive power spike for this champion, but Turtle able to make it out with the flash and W back to Zaya. Now it's 4 from GPPK on to the Cloud Dragon.
Looking like a good turnaround for GPK. Gets a pick, gets a kill onto that Cogma, makes that lane a little more doable for him. But still, overall, looking like a pretty even game. Wolves leading with a 4K gold lead, not well, 400 gold lead, not a 4K. But overall, I think looking pretty even.
Yeah, things looking even. And you mentioned Wichita Wolves have set themselves up pretty well. They're doing great topside, and even down in the bot lane, DeBay is having a really, really good time down there with the CS advantage with the kill. Doesn't have tier 2 boots yet, but has quite a bit of damage to the longswords and the Sheen. 3 Sheens, by the way, over in the Wichita Wolves. One thing I did want to point out is their mid lane is pretty far behind. Impact not doing as well. A little fight here. It's going to be 3v2, though. Though the GPPK bot lane does not know it. That's a fantastic lane gang from Atlas, perfectly executed, and there's nothing really that they could do. Big ultimate, actually. Comes through for Dewan, and this might actually be, yeah, they're going to trade back a kill there, which is pretty good. They might even trade back more as Jackie Chan has found Atlas running up the river. DeBay also going to get caught out here. He's trying to find something on Dewan, but isn't going to be able to do it. Jackie just runs him down, and that is... I believe that's actually positive for GPPK.
Yeah, I think GPPK went 2 for 1 on that trade, losing both. Side of GPPK lost only the Cogma, while the Wolves lost both the Zaya and the Rakan. The Sejuani got out barely on.
Oh,
did
did?
miss
Okay.
the wind become lightning, so she was able to get out. But the Rakan died on the dive.
Gotcha. Yeah, so disaster there for the bot lane for Wichita Wolves, but pretty good for, I believe Atlas picked up the kill. Yeah, picked up another kill there, was able to kill 068. And disastrous as well, really, for 068 as they died there, and I don't think they got assists for those kills. They may have, but even so, you know, you're still getting set further behind, and what it really is, who it really is good for is Jackie Chan, who gets, I believe, both of those kills, at least one of them, and gets further ahead, even further than Atlas. So still very far up in CS, still ahead there with the gold. You can see them with the mythic item completed. The magical footwear is proc there as well for the Xinjiao. It's going to be red side, though, that look to get this Rift Herald.
Yeah, they set up really well. Come out with a slow push that wave in. No one's having trouble clearing it out, so it should just be a pretty free Herald for them.
I mean, it's good stuff there. A lot of nice wave clear on Ornn, but you know, he's still a tank. Not too much damage in the kid. I mean, I guess for tanks, Ornn has a pretty good amount of damage, but you know,
Still not enough to do with that Camille.
Yeah, not enough to deal with that wave. So it's gonna be the free rift going down for the Wolves. And GVK pushing in this bot side. Get a couple plates for themselves. Feels pretty nice.
Yeah, got 2 onto the Kog'Maw. That's another kill's worth of gold. The Kog'Maw's actually ahead, should be ahead in gold, I believe. Yep. Currently have 400 gold over the Xayah.
There you go. Kog'Maw easily back in the game now. See them take the reset. Should have a lot of that gold in hand. About 800 gold in hand, so. Ooh, flash from Impact, flash from Jackie. Leaves Impact dead. Now Atlas caught out 2v1, but here's Turtle to help out. Gonna knock him up with the quickness. Atlas stunned up by the Solar Flare. Zenith Blade in. And Atlas is down. The kill goes over the bod kill. X-Ranger stuns up PK topside. Just a little trade up here for you. Maybe not. Yeah, just a little trade up there for you, but great play there mid lane. Vodkill having a fantastic game so far. 4 kills up now. Has solo killed Impact, I believe twice now, and just killed him a 3rd time with the help of the team.
Yeah, that mid jungle duo from the side of GPK is looking really scary. The Syndra 4-2-1, the Zen 3-1-2. Both really powerful champs in the early game. They can look to force this lead around the map and hopefully for the next track.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have some gold stacked onto your hyper tank, onto Sejuani. It really just makes fights longer for you if you don't have the damage to back it up, right? And right now, I'm worried the Wolves might not have that damage backed up. Corki is not scaling very well. Xayah's been having some problems there as well, so if they try to make plays around the bottom side, try to make plays around these dragons, they're going to have trouble in the team fights. They might be a little bit longer, but they're not going to be winning team fights.
And it looks like the Kog'Maw is going for one of the more common builds lately. He first rushes the Wit's End, even into non-AP lanes. The stats you get from the item can help so much, especially with that on hit and mid speed.
For sure here. Next dragon just spawned. And Jackie Chan immediately starts it up. Should be able to get that uncontested. Turtle's giving it a look, but he doesn't like what he's seeing. Yeah, that drag goes down uncontested there for GPPK. Speaking of contests, might be a fight bringing out here. Turtle caught out, but an X-Ranger going in to try and save them. Drops the ult down on Jackie Chan. Ooh, X-Ranger just gets bursted out. DeBay dropping the ult on. Rooting several members, but no kills there for the Xayah. Impact now on the run as Jackie Chan and the Bodkill have decided now is the time for the Corki to go down. Bodkill gets that kill. DeBay still running. Kog'Maw, he's just got short little legs, Rhino. Not going to be able to catch up.
Yeah, X-Men, it looks like that fight was looking really good for the side of the Wolves, but once the Camille ulted the Zen had that crushing guard up, and it was really hard for anyone from the Wolves to get the damage onto the Zen that was being locked up.
They get that mid turret as well. A little bit of a consolation prize, a little extra on top for them there as they previously picked up the dragon as well. 2 dragons stacked up for them now. They took that last one on cooldown. It's looking to be a pretty quick dragon soul for them if they continue this level of dominance on the map.
Yeah, GPK looking really good here. We got some trading on the top side. He came out in danger.
Yeah, it could be. That's a second brittle proc. See if you can get another one off. Here's W comes back off cooldown. There's a 3rd one, and X-Ranger's in trouble all of a sudden. The trade potential there from PK. If you get nailed by that ultimate and 2 sets of W's, that's going to be 3/4 of your health bar. And that's just not something you could contend with if you're X-Ranger right now.
Yeah, the on damage is really strong. His trading power can do a lot of damage if you're not able to back off before that second W proc comes through, because the ult applies 2 procs of passive, 1 on each play coming in. So if you get hit by both, that's a lot of your health bar that's going to be gone.
Certainly is there. PK takes the reset, uses teleport to get up top side. No way into a fight if one breaks out. So if you're GPK, you want to stay away from any kind of major fight. You will be down a man at this juncture X-Ranger up topside as well. Also does not have TP, so things may be a little bit more even.
Yeah, in the mid lane, we see currently the bot kill has a 1.3 gold lead over that Corki. He's looking really, really strong. And that Syndra has the ability to carry these team fights with the scout of the week, and the ult could look really, really sketchy for X-Ranger. He's probably going to have to blow the ult on either X-Ranger or Impact, because if he tries blow it on the Zai can just use her ultimate to dodge it, but...
X-Ranger in onto PK, doing quite a bit of damage there with the Q. Powered Q really cuts through him with the Divine Sunder stacked on top of the Grasp of the Undying. That's a pretty big auto.
A professional is marked by precision.
Really cuts through him. And she's got knives for legs, so you expect cutting anyway, but cuts a little bit more than normal.
Yeah. That was a painful turn to lane again. She's really powerful right now. You didn't see much of her last patch, but this patch you've been starting to see her more and more. Her early lane power, along with her scaling, is just so powerful for some team comps.
Certainly, if you like playing the side lane, Camille is your girl. She does very well there, especially late game. Turtle's out, Wing away a couple times there.
Yeah, it looks like
been caught
GPK's
out.
just kind of trying to find some picks, maybe play for this Herald. Just keep playing the map really well with the lead that they have, especially when they make jungle. Just keep getting those neutral objectives and eventually run over this game.
Certainly there, Dwan. Just kind of walking up to Turtle, seeing what's up, what's going on. That Rift Herald's going to go down for free for GPVK. See where they end up dropping it. I would imagine down the mid lane. You could break open top as well with that Rift Herald, though. So options for them there. Next Dragon's up in 40 seconds.
Yeah, we're currently looking at, like I said, that my jungle duo is doing really good, and Hogma's now currently up over 1,000 gold over that Zaya. He's going to be hurting really bad. He's got that Wit's End and the new quiver over, well, Zaya's actually sitting on an Essence Tree and a new quiver, surprisingly, but still not quite as powerful as that Wit's End, especially against that Corki. He's going to be doing mainly AP, but...
Yeah, weirdly enough, no Kraken Slayer yet this game for either party there, but... Rhino,
Yeah,
what should we expect going into this next Dragon fight?
I think so. Yeah, there we go. We was about to say, I think we can see the jungler dropping that arrow down, forcing the wolves to have to respond to it. Oh, there we see a pick from the bot kill. It should just now at this point be a free dragon for the DPK. That herald they have to answer, and now they don't have turtle. It's pretty rough. And we will see the flash coming out from Impact there. The Leona's ult gonna force it out, otherwise he would have to pay the price. Looks like we will just continue to see this Camille side laning. Keep farming up, pressuring those turrets, forcing the wolves, well, forcing GPK to answer. GPK is ahead. It's still something they have to worry about.
Ooh, Debate just gets deleted there in that fight. 068 pretty low. Atlas trying to get at him. Can't quite get there, though. Here's Turtle on the scene. Nice little knock-up. Couple teleports coming in now from both our top laners. Oh, there's a mid laner, actually. Bot kill coming through. He is going to be able to kill 068, tracking them down. Should be able to walk out of here for free there, too. But another rough team fight for the Wolves as GPPK continues stacking up the Dragons.
Yeah, GPK is looking really strong here in almost every lane. Even that Ornn is starting to get scaled up. He has that Sunfire, he has the Taba, he has the Chain Vest, and it looks like he's looking to probably finish up Bramble Vest with those two cloth armor.
Certainly could go that direction. I would expect that as well.
So right now, from the side of the Wolves, there's not much AP damage that's going to be coming through, because most of that's coming through the Corki, but Corki's currently sitting at 0-4.
Yeah, not the strongest Corki on the block. We'll go ahead and say that. Had pretty rough game against the Syndra. And report on the gold difference between them is about 2,000 right now.
Yeah, that gap just keeps growing as this game goes on. Corky's not able to sit in the side lane and farm. Keeps getting bullied out of the side lanes.
Guan having a fantastic game as far as the vision control is concerned. Doing really well. Turtle as well also has a nice vision score. Up at 41 now. Really see with them sweeping the vision away. It's helping their teams get better control of these objectives. There we go, Atlas. Maybe caught out by PK. PK not tons of damage though, so we'll be able to get away from the Ornn.
Yeah, and one thing about those brittle procs is it can hurt against other tanks because those brittle procs do percentage of HP. So against other beefier characters, you can start to hurt a lot.
It really can, and stacking health against Ornn isn't incredibly useful there, right? So the Sejuani in particular is going to be hurting pretty badly for that mechanic, because Sejuani loves to stack up health, get as much health going as they can.
Yeah, looks like we'll just see some resets come through from inside the Wolves. Looks like they'll have to back off a little more than they thought they would, but looks like I can see GPK probably is gonna look for picks, maybe. Just other than that, they're just probably gonna wait for the drag because that'll be so point for them.
Certainly will, and that's the Infernal Soul too. It's very useful for not just their team, but their damage profile, right? That Dragon Soul on Syndra could be extremely beneficial for the burst damage, right? Getting all of that damage across with the ultimate, you should be able to delete any single target on the map right now. Not Sejuani, maybe not Camille, but any of the carries here, definitely going to be one-shottable for you.
Yeah, and we see the Syndra come through. Currently has the Void Staff and a 10-sec Dark Seal, and even if the Wolves do try to catch her out, she also has the stopwatch, so it's going to be really hard for them to deal with that Syndra.
Solar Flare comes out, goes wide, as the dash from Atlas is able to save their life. That's a rough one there. Next Dragon up in 45 seconds. It's already looking like GPPK are going to have the angle on the objective. Yeah, they're both dancing around the dragon pit now. Bod kill, maybe going for a little bit of a bait play there. Turtle not falling for it. It's going to get out of there. Yeah, I think this one's just going to go down to GPPK2 here, Rhino.
Yeah, it's looking really rough with the side of the Wolves. It looks like GPK should just get this drag. See Corky on the reset. He just grabbed his package, but with what he's got right now, that package isn't going to do too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking like an underwhelming package here from Impact.
Yeah, and we can actually see the Wolf Surge zone. GPK out of the river, but PK's looking to retake it back, and that Ornal's always such a terrifying engage tool.
Certainly, Solar Flare is almost back up off cooldown as well. In fact, I think it's up now. This will be the fight. PK should start it off with the ultimate any second now.
Yeah, we will see it. Looks like we'll probably see Ornn call the horn here in a second. It's just holding it off. Neither team looking to engage. I'm surprised we haven't seen GPK engage yet. They're looking really ahead, but I think they're trying to wait out the package because that package only lasts for 1 minute.
Ooh, yeah, that could be exactly what they're going for.
The package is gone, and there's the horn.
Yeah, here it comes. There's the horn. Comes out, hits 3 members, but Turtle's in on the back line with the 4-man knock-up. X-Ranger with the ultimate, too, is buying so much time. They're trying to get PK down in the meantime. No deaths yet. Solar Flare comes out, only slows to Bay. Little ultimate there from Zion. Big damage. Turtle gonna go down to the damage from Syndra to Bay. Atlas, they're on the run. Jackie Chan is on the hunt. He gets the kill onto the Zaya. Atlas walking through the bushes while Impact dies on the back end. X-Ranger gonna get taken out there at the very end of the fight by that unstoppable, that unleashed power, excuse me, with Atlas dying to Jackie Chan. It was a well-played fight there by GPPK, and they will get their prize.
Yeah, no, GPK was just able to stall long enough for that package to go out, and as soon as you saw that package disappear, Ornn called the horn and got the good engage. really hurts to see because Turtle got this really good engage on the backline, but just not enough damage to do anything because they're so far behind.
Agreed there. And they'll be taking a bunch of camps away from the Wichita Wolves as well, trying to just hammer home their advantage. That's exactly what you want to be doing if you're a team that's ahead like this with a big timer.
Yeah, it looks like GPK will just be looking to take all of the Wolves camps here. Orin will pick up that red buff. Looks like the Wolves might actually be looking for a collapse here. Coming
Could
in,
be,
Mod.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just gonna walk out for the time being. Sweeping out a little vision as they go. This game feels like it's coming to a close here, Rhino. It's just been the story of GPPK constantly coming out on top, and it seemed like for a long time that the Wolves had a way into this game, but that window, if there ever was one, has been closing as the game progresses here, and looks like it's almost closed.
Yeah, GPK is slowly choking them out of this game. This Syndra is getting so strong, so with that soul, she actually picked up a Mage Eyes. Kogma's the scaling as he scales harder than the Zaya does. The Orange scales harder than Camille. It's looking really rough. And then even the scalers on the side of the Wolves are just getting bullied into the ground. The Corky's 05, not even ahead in farm at all. It's just looking really rough.
Yeah, you don't want to go even on CS with your lane opponent as Corky. You want to be flame horizoning them in the ideal game. But it's not happening this go around.
Yeah, and it looks like GPK is looking to force the Baron here and then probably look for an end.
Yeah, would be my guess, Rhino. PK trying to buy himself a little bit of time top side for his teleport to come back off the cooldown. X-Ranger's teleport is up. We'll see if the Wolves are going to make any contests for this. They need to move relatively quickly as that Baron is absolutely melting.
And I think their best chance is honestly just look for a steal from Atlas here. I think if they try to fight it, it's only going to get worse.
PK with the 1v1 wins that handily. They reset the Baron, though, as they realize they had the 5v4 advantage that they can just hold off for a little bit. Somebody's got to go back to deal with PK and the wave they're crashing in the bot lane.
Yeah, no, there you go. You see that percentage of max health damage coming through from the Orin. It's just, the Camille's getting tankier, but the Orin's getting a lot. Well, even more tanky with that Thornmail and the Bramble. That Camille's not going to be doing any damage to that Ornn.
Yeah, and Camille trying to come correct with the Hex Drinker. As those brittle procs, I believe, are magic damage.
I believe they are as well. Let's see. Looks like GPK will be starting at the Baron here again. Eldamon looking on Turtle. Turtle gets out.
Yeah, it is max health magic damage there, so just trying to reduce a little bit of that damage with that Hex Drinker, but it only goes so far. Baron remains intact.
It's looking really rough for the side of the Wolves. Like I said before, they've just been getting choked out. They don't feel like they really have any more options left in this game. GPK wasn't able to pick up the Baron, it looks like. I don't know exactly what happened there, but we will be seeing Elder coming up in not too long.
Yeah, it should be up in the next 2 minutes here. And then both teams should be playing around that objective, but honestly, if I'm GBBK, I want the game to be over by then, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even 100% that they need Baron. They're playing around it, and I think that's a discipline maneuver, to use the word discipline, but
yeah, just trying not to over force them through the game.
Definitely, and I think that's a noble goal, but they're really far out in front, so it might just be going through the motions at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's anything the Wolves can do to get back into this game. They're down levels, they're down gold. That Corky is down 2 levels to the Cinder. Camille's down a level to the Ornn. Bot lane's down a level to the Cog.
We're going to take the reset in preparation. Only we'll see that reset come through right before the teleport comes out. which means the team is about to start up the play. Yeah, here we go. We're starting up this play up top side. Interesting to see Ornn go for that reset so early. Feel like you hold that off, you save your turret, and end up just arriving at the fight with the teleport from base. That way you don't have to spend so much time walking. But
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And one nice thing about the Ornn is when he does come in earlier, well, when he does reset earlier, he doesn't lose the thing that most people lose, which is that item difference, because he can just build the items while he's sitting out here in the lane.
yep, yeah, for sure. Takes
So like
that
you said,
reset
he could lose
regardless.
that tower.
Lose that turret. Ooh. Turtle goes down almost instantly. Impact not long for the world either. Atlas gonna eat the solar flare. In goes Dwan with Zenith Blade. It's a call. The Forge God comes out as Atlas goes down to Jackie Chan. And it will be GPBK dropping back onto this Baron for what should be the last objective of the game and of the final push of the game as well.
You might
Elder has
see them go
spawn.
for the Elder here. I don't think they need that. I think they can just push down and end, but like you said before, they could have done that earlier, but the Chiefs go for the Baron, so they might do the same with the Elder.
Yeah, Ornn's going over to check the Elder, make sure they're not doing it, but I think he's probably just going to take the Scuttle and then either join his team mid or I guess they're going to go for the Elder. It should be uncontested, so it's kind of free.
Yeah. There's no way that... Now, yeah, if they get this, they'll have both buffs, and there's no way that... Oh, that's Cinder's got it.
Yikes. Turtle with the quickness going to be able to survive, at least through that trade. Dwan actually getting picked off despite picking up the Elder buff. Turtle still in the fight. Knock up onto X-Ranger on arrival. Might be dead from the burn. Down goes Impact. DeBay and Turtle still up. Oh, man. Even the damage from the Call of Forge God was enough to kill both of them. That's rough. But now it's just X-Ranger and Atlas left on the defense. And there are 4 members of GPPK still alive, Rhino.
Yeah, it would take a miracle for Atlas and X-Ranger to come back from this through the Elder, through the Baron, and in the 4v2. It's looking like that should be the game for GPK.
Yeah, this will be the end of the game, the end of the series as well. GPPK taking game 1, and now in the final game of this series, taking game 3 as well as they push for the Nexus. Down go the Nexus turrets. X-Ranger playing with fire now, gets executed. Turtle not far behind. Now it's just Atlas left to defend their base. Gonna try and save the KDA, it looks like, as 068 gonna destroy the Nexus and end this series.
Yep, well, there we go. Axeman, see a very dominant performance from GPK, very different from game 2. They won that very handedly. Didn't make much mistakes. I think they could have ended a little earlier, but they just chose to play it safe, get both the Baron, get the Elder, and secure the W.
Yeah, especially if there's nothing in the league rules about like tiebreakers being broken up by game length or anything like that. There's no real reason to rush a game. I mean, you have great scaling options. You're not falling off anytime soon. It's really just a more disciplined play to go for that next big objective until you have just an overwhelming advantage. And that's what GVK do here in game 3. And like you said, yeah, towards the back end there, that game, massive advantage, but a very close series otherwise with the series going all the way to game 2. With that game 2 that or going all the way to game 3, that game 2 with we watched that the Wolves actually won. It seemed like this series could go either way. Wolves look great there in game 2.
Yeah, I think both their bot lane, I think their bot lane and their mid really showed up in game 2, but both were kind of just weren't able to get anything done in that game 3, and I think that was what was able to make the difference in that game.
Yeah, fully agree with you there. But it's a fun series to catch. We actually ended up casting 2 series here on the desk as that first one had some troubles getting off the ground, but it was good casting with you as always, Rhino. And I think with that, we're unless you got anything else for me, we're gonna cut it there.
Yeah, sounds good. It was a fun cast. Hope everyone in the chat has a good day. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching and even watching Risen Esports Premade Dominate Week 3 on the Risen Esports channel. I've been Axman87 on Play-by-Play, and Rhino was your color caster for this stream. Brian on production, thank you so much, Brian. We had some issues, but we got them all resolved and ended up putting on a pretty good show. So thank you so much for watching, and check back with us next time we go live. Maxman87, we'll see you.
See ya.